Welcome to the show, guys. I have a really interesting guy joining us later today. There's the link, Jonathan. Please jump on. Let's see here. How's everyone doing? Man, I had a quite a long day. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Hello, good evening from Germany. How are you doing?
Oh man, I took a nap. Yeah, I had to run some errands. Just finishing up the remains of my previous job,
Okay.
tying all the loose ends.
Did you tell the customers that you've been fired?
Yes. Well, I mean, I can't tell them that like I was fired. I have to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to leave. But they didn't even pay me anything for that. Like, like why should I be doing them these favors? But
Yeah. Tim, can I have a minute to shout out some greetings?
yes, please.
Today, 60 years ago, my parents had their wedding. Today, they're celebrating their 60th diamond wedding anniversary.
Wow. Wow. Congratulations. Diamond wedding.
Diamond wedding. There will be a big party at the weekend. This weekend.
This weekend they'll be celebrating. Wow.
But I also would like to give a shout out to my dear wife, who may be listening. I was talking to her today, and I told her, Tim said 2% of his audience are Germans, and I told her I must be one of them. I wonder who is the other one. And she said, that's me. That's me, because when you're online, I'm listening that you're not talking dumb shit.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, hey, and I hope I'm not talking dumb shit as well. I have to be careful, because
She didn't complain.
Yeah?
Actually,
Yeah.
When I'm listening to Archie's stream, I'm not allowed to listen on my iPhone.
Ooh.
I have to wear headsets because she can't stand his voice and his shouting. But she's okay with you.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. It's good news. Whew.
Now that this is off your chest.
Yeah. I'm glad that I'm providing quality entertainment that everyone can enjoy. That's so sweet.
Definitely, yes. And I like your new title picture on your YouTube channel.
Oh,
is it Mount Everest?
Oh, yes. Someday I have to dream big.
Someday you and me, you know that?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Actually, yes. Well, we're not allowed to talk about
it. No. That's top secret.
It's top secret. Something we're working in the back.
Yeah.
Background secret information, guys. All right, Jonathan. Let's answer some of these questions. We got Boxing Barry, the first chat of the day. Thoughts on the Yacht-Master 40 with the slate dial? I think he's talking about the rhodium dial in the 40. Actually, let me bring it up. Is that what we're talking about, or the slate dial? Wait, what is a slate dial?
I think there is also a slate dial with a steel one, but
is it with the red? No, the slate comes out to be as the rhodium dial. Interesting.
As far as I know, there is a steel one with a gray dial, yes, and the blue hand.
Yeah, that's the one my wife has, but she has the 47. This is
37, hopefully.
No, yes, she has the 37. But he's asking about the 40. Oh, there's the 37. There's the 40. Actually, what is the price on these right now? Let's check my sponsor, David SW. Let's see how much, if he has one for
Do
sale.
you remember? Do you remember the days when those could be had for 8,000?
My God, these were a huge bargain, completely unwanted. People like these were going at a massive discount just a couple of years ago. Man, it
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't have one.
not so long time ago.
Oh, for some reason the search doesn't really work. Maybe I should do it the other way. Should do it this way. Uh, Rolex. I gotta be honest. There is something about the Yacht-Master, especially the 40. I freaking love it. The way it wears on the wrist, because it wears like your regular date just, but it's got the function of a Yacht-Master. Oh, look at this. That's not too much over retail, right?
Oh,
2016, beautiful. And that's a great condition because at this price, that's the Submariner prices right now.
yeah.
I think this is much better value because you get a very obviously it's not going to scratch that Submariner itch. If you want the Submariner, it's not going to do it for you, I think. I had this discussion with one gentleman yesterday off air, and he got it because he thought it would be impossible to get the Datejust. But he has the blue dial, the blue dial. I think the rhodium. This is going to be super classic. But actually, it looks and wears so good. It's hard to comprehend.
I tell you, I like the bezel insert more than the ceramic bezel insert. The only thing, slightly negative thing on the Yacht-Master is that the bezel click is still the old system and not the new one, like
Yeah,
on the ceramic.
you don't get the. It's a bi-directional bezel, so it's a very kind of a rough, very soft click. There's no click. It's uh, just a rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have the satisfaction like the Submariner
Some,
does.
someone is commenting that must be a 37 millimeters.
Are you sure?
Let's check it out.
I think it's a 40. Oh, it's
37.
27. Okay. Is there a difference in the? Yeah, damn it.
I think there is a difference in the price.
Well, let's see. Is there? This is also 37, I
Yeah.
guess. Damn, is it already going for 15? The what's it
Yeah.
called? Oh, this is already 70 hours of power reserve. It's it's you have to be really careful with. Okay, this is 40.
Yeah.
Okay, let me check the other one because he has 3. I
But
wonder if
37 would be a good size for you.
By the way, it wears a lot smaller because the dial is quite
Yeah.
tiny on the 37.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Okay, and there's a 40 in this one. Let's also check. Yeah, that's there you go. It's quite a significant. Man, they went up in prices so much. I bet if you call them, they can give you also a discount.
The
A nice
timwrite discount.
a timwrite discount. Wait. I wanted to go low to high. 'Cause these yacht masters, man. I think this is where the bang per buck is. Okay, so they have for 15. Why they went up in price a lot. You just check the price.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the old thing. Some items are not obtainable, then
yeah.
people move on to the next best thing. So their prices go up. So yeah.
I mean, look, it's actually not that bad. I mean, they were 13. They went up to 15 now.
Yeah.
I
If
guess
you
you know what it was. It was the previous dial, the older
yeah,
model. Yeah, those are extremely cheap.
the platinum colored dial or the platinum dial is below 10,000.
Yeah, but I would go for the rhodium. I think the rhodium dial is really. This is where that
You know
this
what?
watch is going to be classic because it's unlike any other. It really stands on its own,
Yeah.
like these kind of situation. But in the 40.
You know what I really wish? That Rolex would issue the Yacht-Master on oyster flex in 40 millimeters in steel with that black ceramic bezel.
Yeah, that would be
That is
that'd be
high on my wish
perfect.
list.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. What's this? Look at this.
Yeah.
It's with the red hand. Ooh, and the old clasp. I would go for. I think it's worth the new one, but this is cheap.
Well, the question is the
Yeah,
new one $5,000 more worth?
yeah. Maybe even $6,000 more.
Yeah.
This is 9,000 from Japan. Look at this. Interesting.
Many of these very old ones have been polished multiple times on
Yeah,
the bezel insert, so you must be
yeah,
careful.
yeah. If the bezel is polished to bits, man, I would pay a little bit extra. Go for the rhodium. Actually, I'm gonna do a review of one. I know the Timeless Watch channel made a review of it. It was great
Mhm.
success. It was his first video. I need to do one as well. So yeah, let's see here.
Copying
Marty,
everyone.
yeah, Marty Evans. Good day, gents. Smash that lake. Speaking of lakes, smash the like button. Keep Tim on YouTube full time so he can keep stealing Archie's shtick. Okay, all right, I got you. Thank you. And Raj G said, Boxing Berry, love the Yacht-Master 40. It has such an elegant case profile. I have the two-tone in brown dial. That's the chocolate dial.
Mhm.
But I have to say that the rhodium dial really pops. Yeah, I would go for the rhodium just because there is a Datejust with the chocolate dial. Oh, hold on 1 second. Alex has messaged me something. Let's see here. What is he saying? Uh, Wait a minute. What's going on? Oh,
Alex just wrote here, don't pay premium for the Viking Platinum bezel. Alex, uh, I don't agree. I really like that platinum bezel. I know that it's difficult to refinish,
yes.
and it gets slightly dirty.
Very dirty.
But I like that platinum insert, nevertheless.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Submariner. Submariner has cutouts for these
Yep,
numbers, so the dirt gets trapped inside the bezel as well, and here it
they
just
get
gets
filthy
trapped.
here.
Yeah, but you do get a lot of value. The platinum, but the platinum is soft. It's very soft. My wife got massive gouge in the triangle at the top, but it's fine. It still looks good. I think for the money, if it's not that much more, I feel like, right? The rhodium. It's just the wearing experience. If you want something that wears really well on the wrist, then I would go for maybe the new blue dial or the rhodium dial. But man, the Yacht-Master, it's just you have to be ahead of the curve. A lot of people go for the Submariner because right now it's cool. But if you get something that's uncool right now, you can get good savings, and then later when it becomes cool, you can say, "Look at me. I was there before it was cool." It's kind of like my Explorer 2, right? I got the Explorer 2 when it was uncool, and now people say, "Oh, you're just buying hot things." You can never win. You know what? Never mind.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah,
By the way, after this stupid Cartier talk that we had,
yes,
I'm looking for a Cartier tank basculante for my wife. That Roberto similar one.
oh, ta-
I really like
Cartier.
that watch. Cartier tank basculante.
Oh,
BASCU.
yeah, one of these, the
Yes.
basculant.
Yeah.
They don't make these anymore, right? This is you
No.
have to pick it up vintage.
Yes.
Cool.
I like
Wow.
them.
It is a very interesting watch. It's a kind of also a fidget spinner kind
My
of
wife wouldn't use it as a fidget spinner, but I think the
course.
design is quite unusual.
Mm.
And like the reverser, you could decorate it with a nice engravement on the case back.
Oh yeah. JBJB, what's up, fellas? Welcome to the show, JBJB. We got time check 1953. Hi, Tim. Hello, time check. Welcome to the show. Laszlo, hello to the show. Saad is watching. Saad Gandapur. Hi, Tim. How are you? I'm doing okay. It's a little bit better. I'm going out for drinks with R2K200 today. So kind of
Oh,
looking forward to that. Not gonna drink too much this time though. I have a big day tomorrow. Big day. A lot of work. Here we go. Oh, look at this. M3 Colleen Jonathan. That's massive. My parents had their last year and got a card from the Queen.
wow. That is amazing.
Jeez, that's wow.
I
Awesome,
hope
man.
that our president is doing a similar thing, but I think the most you could expect is a card from the mayor of the
Wow,
town where you're living. But getting a card from the queen is really
that's
really
impressive.
astounding. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that they did such a thing. That's very that's very cool. DCNLV Jonathan is a good man. He's a great panel member. Yes.
Thank you
Jonathan
very much.
is man, you're just an enthusiast. You're not looking for fame, fortune.
I don't have a YouTube channel. No,
Don't worry, we'll hook you up. We'll hook you up. Don't worry.
no, 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 no.
uh,
I have enough problems in my life. I don't
yeah,
need.
you don't want. Are you sure you don't want the headaches associated
Yeah,
with running a
definitely.
YouTuber's business? William Money, lots of Germans taking vacations down in Italy. Oh, nice people. Yeah,
I'll be
really.
in Italy very soon.
Mm. Oh, here we go. Mossy says dark rhodium was replaced with slate. Ah, interesting. Is that what they call it on Rolex
I,
website?
I I think so. But I'm not following closely
I
the
don't know.
Yacht-Master, so
Yeah. Oh, how come? How come? Not a big fan. Not a big fan.
um, I'm a little bit more interested in other brands. So
Mm-hmm.
if there is a new model that I like, I'm
Yeah.
following it slightly, but I'm not following all the details. So the
Mm.
Rolex web page is not really my favorite page. I'm more so researching on Langepedia or something like that.
Gotcha. Oh, and you know what? Look at that. That's true. It's called slate dial. Huh.
Yeah,
Huh.
learn
The more
something.
you know.
Educational
Jeez.
section
Why
on
did they call it
timwrite.
rhodium? How did I get into calling it? I guess on the Datejust it's called rhodium.
I th- I think with rhodium you have an issue if you don't really use rhodium on the dial.
Mm.
So maybe that's the reason why. But I'm just
Interesting.
guessing.
Yeah, cheap and nasty rhodium. Eddie's watches. Yes. Thank you for the super chat. $5. Really appreciate it, man. G Giddy. I'll stick with my sub. Hey, there's nothing wrong with the sub, except that it is a little bit sharp. I just want to point out that there's other options and like they're often overlooked. I know I overlooked it. I would love one of these Yacht-Masters in my collection, especially the rhodium one. I think that would be so sexy, so sexy. This watch is so, my God, it wears good. It's just, I gotta be
And
honest.
Carlino, is it possible that you make a picture of that wedding anniversary card and load it up that we can see it all?
At least maybe we can share it in private. That would be
Yep.
really cool. Yeah, yep. It was 37. Man, I'm so far behind on the chats. My God. Let me just catch up here. 28 works. Thank you, Kurt. Highly appreciate that. Yeah.
But Kurt has a point, not with you, but when I started selling Rolexes,
Yeah.
we were selling the Lady Datejust like crazy. The medium was basically unwanted until you had someone from Asia. This
Yeah.
was actually meant for Asian men, the medium size.
Oh, the 37?
Yeah, no, 31 Datejust two tone.
Oh, the 31. Okay.
So we sold the 28 lady date just like crazy for to ladies, and the 31 millimeter medium was basically for Asian men.
Interesting. Huh. There you go. Actually, I mean, look, uh, what I don't understand is like, so okay, like Asian people just generally a little bit smaller
Yes.
than like Western people, right? But Japanese watches, like Grand Seiko, makes so many massive, big
Yeah.
sports watches. I don't understand. Are they making them for the Western people, or what's the situation there? What's the
I
market?
can't give you a reply on them. I'm sometimes very surprised about those chunky things that look
Yeah,
like a lion's paw.
yeah.
Um, and I'm really asking myself who is really wearing those. But you have to keep in mind when I started 30 years ago,
Yes.
36 millimeters was a man's watch, and
Yes.
the day date and 36 was the Grail. And 31 was medium, but nobody really sold it to a woman.
Huh. I trust that they know what they're doing, but like sometimes I look at like for example like this kind of Grand Seiko, and I
It's
wonder,
huge.
yeah, like
Yeah.
what's the because you don't just it's 47 millimeters and 16 millimeters thick.
Yeah.
That's no joke. That's a serious tool.
That's too big for my wrist. The
Yeah.
largest that I have is my IWC Top Gun chrono, which is 44 or 46. I think it's 44.
Hmm.
But that is the maximum for a sports watch. I wouldn't get that big
Hmm.
chunky. I
So
can't give you a proper reply on that
yeah.
question.
Actually, I mean I would love to talk to someone who's selling watches currently, like who's buying these watches. That would be an interesting conversation.
Well, Ali has one.
Who?
Ali,
Oh, Ali. Yes, he does. Well,
he
yes,
showed it.
but he has big wrists,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
he says he has some issues with it as well, right?
He didn't like the bracelet, as far as I understood.
Yeah, I just man, when Seiko, when Grand Seiko and Seiko, when they figure out bracelets, I think
Yeah.
we're gonna enter a new kind of age of watchmaking.
Thank you very much for showing that beautiful spring drive yesterday with the blue dial, with that lake blue dial.
Oh yeah.
I really like that. Actually, I asked my AD if he's able to get me one with
Yes.
my usual discount. So I will see how that
Mm,
turns out.
very cool. Let me actually bring it up here as I'm desperately trying to catch up to the chat. Can I find it? It's not that easy to
Yeah,
find.
it's SGLA.
Yeah, just find it. I'm gonna catch
SGLA.
up. When I'm gonna show a tour of pen collection. My pen collection, I just have 3 pens, maybe 4. I think I have 4. Maybe I should Mont Blancs. Oh, maybe he has. When are you showing us tour? I guess your pen collection. Ah, I might. You know what? I might. Just write me an email to remind me, and I'm gonna pin it somewhere so that I don't forget because I forget everything. Golden Majestic Meatball looks like an arms dealer watch. Oh,
I think he means the Cartier
the
Basculon.
Cartier Basculon.
I can't say that as
uh,
nicely as our watch Jesus,
so cool. Jiggity,
Stefan.
look at this. $5 super chat. Tudor Black Bay Panda. New Speedy Sapphire or Breguet Type 21. In my opinion, I think it's the Black Bay Tudor Panda. Yes, I understand that it's a little bit boring, and actually, in the WhatsApp group, people were already sharing that they can see them on display windows, so they're already out. You can probably pick this up at retail, if not below retail. The new Tudor Diet Panda. I the new Sapphire. It's beautiful. It's a little bit overpriced, And actually, both of them have the same problem of no adjustment. But there's just something about the Tudor Panda. It's much cheaper. It's just much cheaper. I think this is a fair price. Unless you can get a discount for the Speedy Sapphire, I would go for the Speedy. Breguet, mm, not a huge fan. When I think of Breguet, to me, it's more about that classy dress watch. Just some beautiful coin edging, just thin enamel dial, or some complication, open works kind of situation.
I disagree with you. I
You
really
like
like
Breguet?
the Brigade Type 21. I also like that Breitling Heritage watch that looks like the Brigade Type 21 with the manual movement.
I mean, look, it's Salita, right?
That
The
is
the Breguet.
what? No, no, no. That is Lemania,
Oh, Lemania. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Lemania. Okay.
and that is the Type 20. That is the smaller
You're
one.
right. But it's cheap. Look at the price for the Type
Yeah,
20. Wow. The Type 21 is gonna be way more expensive though. Look at the 21 is 9,000. That's the most expensive one of the
yeah.
bunch.
It's more expensive. Yes.
Yeah, I would go with Type 20. Look at that. Look how cheap that is.
Did I tell you that somebody broke in my house and stole a Type 20? And I managed to get it back 2 years later.
What? How did you get
Yes.
it back?
So that is almost 20 years ago. Somebody burgled my house. Don't try this again because we have
Ooh.
security and all of the watches are in the safe deposit. But they took 3 watches. Fortunately, they didn't take the very expensive one. Part of it was a Breguet Type 20. Back in the day, the internet was quite new, and Breguet on their webpage had a list of stolen watches. You could click a link, and there were the references and the serial numbers.
Wow.
And the watch appeared on eBay in Germany, and someone checked it, and
Yeah.
he informed me.
Wow.
So I contacted the seller, and
Yes.
the conversation was quite frankly until I demanded the watch back.
Yeah.
And he said he's not going to do that. He wants money from me. And I said,
Yeah.
look, this is not how the law works.
Right.
So that friendly conversation stopped, and I hired a lawyer.
Wow.
And on Christmas Eve, the officials raided his home.
Jeez.
They found 2 safes, but not the watch. Then I pulled him on court because he admitted in written that he had the watch.
Yeah. Wow.
And
Oh yeah.
told him, look, you're responsible for the watch. And 2 weeks later, he was willing to give it back to me.
Wow. Okay. If I'm ever in legal troubles, I'm gonna go to you because you obviously know how to fix these type of sticky situations.
No, this is a warning to everybody who is buying questionable watches. You can't legally own stolen goods. So no matter if you're buying in good faith or not, if the real owner shows up and demands the watch back, you're out of the watch, and you can then try to get your money back from your seller. But it's the same in the US. The legal situation is the same in the US. Good faith is only that you're not going to jail for dealing with stolen goods.
My God.
Okay,
very dangerous. I mean, hey, that's a good lesson. That's a good lesson for everyone. Have to double check. Like when you buy, you should probably double check everything.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, it's good. Good warning for everyone. But yeah, man. I mean, Breguet, in my opinion, it's for like a super enthusiast. You would have to know really a lot about watches to go with the Type 21. It is a beautiful watch. Actually, the glass on it. I don't know what. It just pops. Look at that.
Yep.
Just a hunk of glass. I've seen these on the Wall Street a lot. There's a lot of business people wearing these. That's yeah. But I'm a simple guy, right? That's why Tudor Black Bay Panda is for
It's a
me.
little bit more fancy than the Tudor. I
It's
will give
very
you.
fancy, yeah. Yeah, and also, but the service cost is also going to be, even though it's Lemania, it's going to be much more expensive now.
Not sure. Tudor is not cheap with a chronograph either. And the good thing about that Lemania in the Breguet is that most average watchmakers can service it, so you're not totally depending on Breguet.
Cool.
It's a cam. It's a
Cam's,
cam.
yeah, Cam's chronograph. We got M3 Kalina. It's only 60th wedding anniversary and reaching 100 years of age. It has hand signed and is incredible. Wow. We got Mr. GMT is watching the show. Thank you, Tim, for starting my day off. Now I'm going to have an awesome day thanks to you guys. Hey, Mr. GMT, we're always glad to make your day. And yeah, actually, a lot. Mr. GMT, he's so sweet.
I'm happy to hear this, my friend.
Yeah, I had such an awesome conversation with him a couple of days ago.
Mr. GMT is like no other, and he always brings a smile to my face when I'm talking to him. So,
Mike, would this make a good show? Picking a watch and letting folks from the chat who own it to join the discussion could cover a few in one stream. You know, it would be great for if it was planned ahead. Like if I make it so that, let's say, tomorrow I'm gonna talk about Tudor Black Bay 58. That'd be cool. But also, a lot of people, they have it's hard joining the live stream. It is a kind of it's not easy to do. Not everyone can do it on the first try. So if you guys if somebody wants to join us, free to hop on. I dropped the link. Also, we're gonna have the guest joining in like another 15 minutes. 15 minutes maybe. Yeah, I'm always looking for new people to hop on, especially at this time, because there's a lot of people who already kind of have experience at doing it for the after show kind of hours in 4, you know. But these hours are pretty dead. This is like a graveyard shift. We have to stream more at this time, and I'm gonna try to do that. Let's see here.
I just posted the Grand Seiko in the private chat.
Oh, okay. 1 second.
Unfortunately, there is not a proper link, so you have to browse down at that what you seek article. No, it's a little bit more up. You can expand the picture.
There we go. Okay. 1 second. Let me just catch up to the comments. Let's see here. Oh, time check. I have a 45.5 millimeter Omega Planet Ocean, and I love it. What's the size of your wrist? I would be interested to know. Time check. And he says we 4 pens is a collection. Well, 4 pens is a collection. Yeah, I guess so. I have just have 4 Mont Blanc kind of pieces. 4 Mont Blanc pieces.
Have I told you that I have a Mont Blanc pen with my signature engraved on?
No. When'd you get that?
I was working for Mont Blanc. This is a company pen.
Oh, what? When did they give it to you?
A long time ago. I was working for a short time for Mont Blanc.
You were selling pens or their watches?
No. I was training salespeople there, and I got a full array of company pens, and they had to be engraved. And I've gotten every single pen engraved with my signature.
Wow. And is that ink pen or rollerball or?
Everything. I have a ballpoint pen, I have a rollerball, and I have 2 149s.
And wait, how long did you get them?
How long ago? Or?
Yeah, how long? Yeah, for how long do you have these pens? They still
for
work
20 years at least.
20 years, and they still work fine.
Oh yeah.
See, a lot of people because like like I have this like right here, right? I have this as a Pix. This is like their cheapest line. This is just a
I
regular
know.
pen. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a Pix. I think they sell this for $200. I like it because it's got the big. I'm sure it's got that. If it's gonna focus, it's kind of stupid. See, it's got the big Mont Blanc logo, and actually, it's quite comfortable to write with. It's just I also have the Pride and Pinion pen.
Okay.
Pride and Pinion, but this is my like everyday pen. Because I don't know, I'm just not using.
Can I give two ink pen advices to the people?
Sure.
So the two most common mistakes or issues with fountain pens is, first of all, the cap. Don't wash the cap with water. Don't ever wash it with water. Just wipe it with a dry tissue. Never use water.
Why not?
Because the water gets trapped in the cap underneath the gaskets, and then humidity goes off, and you always have blue fingers. So avoid the cap getting wet.
Okay.
That's the first rule of thumb.
First rule.
Second rule: if you have a piston system and you suck the ink into the fountain pen,
yes,
put 4 to 5 drops back. Then turn the fountain pen upside down with a nib on top.
Okay.
And then screw the piston back to the normal position. That you need some air in the system. It shouldn't be full with ink, because otherwise it's gonna drop in the cap.
Oh. What is this? Wait, somebody's calling me. Mr. GMT, welcome to the show. Let me just pick this up because I don't know. This is a weird number.
Hey, Mr. GMT.
Jonathan, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm doing very good. How are you? Are you driving?
Yes, I'm driving. I thought I'd quickly come on before I get to work and just say hello to you guys.
Another 18-hour shift today?
Yes, it is another 18-hour shift today.
Oh, I couldn't do what you're doing together with the heat and everything. That would kill me. But you're still a young cricket, so you can do that.
I'm not so young. I wish I was younger. I'll tell you right now. Jesus, I feel 10 years older right now.
Okay, not that you're talking to me, or what do you mean?
Oh, both. Because I'm working so much and because I'm talking to you. Just kidding, my friend. Just kidding.
No,
hey, nice to hear you guys. I just need to say something. We have Plastic in the back room. Unfortunately, Reverend Plastic, I did get a super chat to ban you from the show for like till the rest of the month. So I can't let you on. It would be interesting to hear what you have to say, but unfortunately, can't let you in. And I'm sorry, guys, because I do have a few super chats I need to get to, and we'll continue.
Yeah, and I'm not sorry. Let me say that.
Oh, okay. Jay, and this is the gentleman who paid to keep the plastic off.
Thank you, JB.
JB, €5. Hey, buddy, just to know the community thinks you are the man. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, is he talking about me? Oh, that's so cool. Hey, I'm glad to hear that I'm the man.
You are the man.
Oh.
You don't need to be told that. You are the man, regardless. Doesn't matter.
Well, I think it's about you, man. Because like it's weird. Why would people say that about me? I think it's about Mr. GMT.
No, it's not about me. It's not about me.
Hey,
it's about you. It's your channel, my man. It's you.
Look, I'm just the host. It's like the wiring for the internet. You know what I mean? It's
No. You're a great host, Tim.
Yes, you are.
I'm really happy to see your development, and you were a great host at the beginning, but you turned much better, and it's really a joy. I couldn't do that because I have a short memory, so I would forget what the guys before told me. So I really admire how you're doing it, and you're doing it great.
Hey, thank you.
Am I now getting a card just like from the Queen? From you?
I don't know. Maybe I should. I should start. I should start doing cards, giving. My. Oh, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you guys about this. I'm still keeping this project a little bit secret. It's off air. Just contact me. I'm gonna mention something. Adobe 20 Swiss francs. There we go. Hey Tim, greetings from Switzerland. Took your fragrance, I guess, advice from a stream a while back. Oud wood and the Speedy. Suited and booted for a night out in Geneva.
Enjoy your night.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Let me actually put on some oud wood myself.
I hope the weather is as nice as in Germany. We have warm weather, so it's perfect to have a romantic dinner outside or something like that.
I gotta say, this is such a romantic fragrance. The oud wood, smooth, perfect oud fragrance for everyone. It's just so inoffensive, so classy. Goes perfectly with the Speedy, actually. You know what I mean? It's just a nice combo. Nice combo. I'm glad you like it. John Galt. What are Jonathan's thoughts on Pelican pens? I have M805.
I'm not. So in general, I love Pelican pens because, like the Submariner, I remember when I was a kid and was sitting in my parents' car, there were those illuminated ads, and Pelican had an ad with that green-black striped fountain pen, and I always loved the shape. And this is a kind of icon to me. I got one a couple of years ago. This is an iconic pen from the rival company of Montblanc. So everybody at Montblanc thought they're not good pens, but in fact they are good pens. And I like the design, and I like the colors that Montblanc don't dare. If someone is looking out for a Montblanc pen, look at the M pen. It's really beautiful. I fell in love with the M pen, which is designed by Mark Newson.
With the magnetic cap?
Yes, it's amazing. Have you tried that out?
Yes, in the store. Because it, like, when you put it in, it falls into the place. It's always, everything is aligned really
and the
nicely.
twist is aligned. Yes. And actually the nib is super smooth, and it writes very good if you're taking the fountain pen. I have a fountain pen and a ballpoint pen of that series.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I like this Pelican pen. It looks beautiful. Gotta be honest.
Yep.
The blue really pops. Could go really wet. It kind of looks like 5711 stripes.
Yeah, and those stripes are iconic for this fountain pen, and no pen is looking like the other because this is totally random. So this is not a fixed pattern.
Oh, Mr. GMT, I know you're a fragrance fanatic like me. Do you have some pens as well?
No, I don't have any pens actually because I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, pens are complicated. Like I have the Meisterstück 149. I never put ink in it yet. I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid. I don't know. I'm gonna.
Oh, come on.
I'll make a video about doing it for the first time ever.
You should do it because the seals are getting dry if you leave it out dry.
Ooh, it's been.
So it's not good for the pen.
Is that too bad?
Yeah. You should fill it with ink.
Okay.
Can you imagine if I try to put ink in a pen? What's going to happen?
Oh, you're going to turn into a Smurf.
I guarantee I'll turn into a Smurf.
Oh my God.
I think people are throwing tomatoes on us for talking about pens already.
No. It's okay. We're just a short detour. M3, thanks, Tim. Hear ya that Yacht-Master is cheap, but I think it's lagging for a reason. It's not an icon like GMT, Sub, or Daytona. Yacht-Master doesn't really have a true identity yet. And that's why it's a bargain. I think you're not paying for the hype. You're not paying for the history and the heritage. So you can save quite a lot of money if you just want the quality piece, right?
I enjoy generally M3 6-speeds comments, and I mostly agree. But here I disagree. It has a true identity, but not many people appreciate it. I would say it like that. It has a great personality. It's an unmistakable piece. I think here it has an identity, but it's not for everyone. It's not for the masses like for the Submariner.
Yeah, I
That
think I don't think he says they're cheap, but I think it's lagging for a reason, not an icon. I think it's just not as iconic, right? I think
yeah
that's the difference. It's
yeah.
just not as iconic.
Here I agree.
Yeah. So it does. Actually, I can tell the difference. I think
And you,
most people will be able to tell the difference
and you can
with
see it
Yacht-Master.
if someone is wearing a Yacht-Master at the other corner of the room, you will recognize it. It
Oh
has
yeah.
personality
Oh
for
yeah.
sure.
Actually, that the bezel
Oh
it's
yeah.
just as loud as what's it called, the fluted bezel on the date chest.
Yeah.
So, and it does have that FO factor. It's so crazy beautiful. What are you doing?
Hello, Mrs. Timwrite.
Just turn down air conditioner. Why are you walking around in the back? Oh, she's checking if it's the temperature is good because today is really hot day in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, I took a short walk. Man, I got back. Had to take a nap because just completely overheated. Geezer, Tim, where's your beard?
Now that you're saying it.
Yeah, I got rid of it. I got paid $20 to do it, so I was like, man, I'll take it. So yeah, I flicked it off.
You remind me. You remind me of the Tim I met for the first time.
Tim, I met. Oh my God. Okay.
But Mr. GMT, don't you agree that it looks much better?
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter what Tim does. He's a handsome guy, so he doesn't have a problem. Beard, no beard, not a
Oh,
problem.
come on,
You
have
can
an
put it.
opinion.
Yeah,
You
I
know what?
wouldn't say that, but okay.
Yeah, no, but I reckon, seriously, Tim, I reckon it doesn't matter if you've got a beard or don't have a beard. They both suit you, so it doesn't matter.
You know, I
So
grew
yes,
the
sir.
beard to actually for sun protection when I'm going my hike, but then because that fell through, that yeah, because that fell through, I kind of canceled the beard. I had to cancel the beard because the wife was not really appreciative of it. She didn't see the joke of it. Actually, okay, so I have Alex in the back room. If he just gives me a thumbs up, I'll know that he's ready. Okay, he
Sorry,
says
who are
it's
we
so
getting on?
good. Hello, Alex.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
How's it going? Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Oh, cool.
How's it
Cool.
going?
Yeah, good.
Well, nice seeing you here. Actually, let me put
Yeah.
you at the top here. There we go. Whoa, where are you joining from?
Oh, this is one of the rooms in my workshop. So this is one of the rooms where I do the repairs and restoration on watches. So you can probably see just there. That's the automatic machine that we use for testing the movements once they've been serviced, so we can basically see if the auto work is working correctly. You can put a vast amount of watches on there, and there's some other tools for opening, and on the other side there's waterproofing and testing. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't expect you're gonna join from the workshop itself. Hey, man.
Yeah, I think it's best because I didn't want to wake up my son and my partner Natalie. She's got work to do as well, so I thought we could talk and have a good laugh without waking anybody up.
Hey, That's better. I think
Yeah.
it would be really cool to show people what the watchmaker's studio kind of looks like, the repair shop. Just really quickly, let people know that now Perpetual Time is that's the name of your website, and also that's name of your business. Can you tell
Yeah.
us a little
So
bit about it?
yeah. So Perpetual Time I started many, many years ago. I actually started in one of my bedrooms at my parents' place. So I was working at the time for, I think it was for Goldsmiths, and I decided to leave. And then I worked for a company which, in my opinion, was way too advanced in its time because it was selling like Glycine, Jean Richard, and all these brands that nobody knew. And they opened up in Manchester, UK. And unfortunately, it never really worked because those brands were too new at that time. Brands like Jean Richard and Glycine and Nomino and Anonimo, I think it's pronounced, those
Yeah.
sort of brands, they are lower range brands.
Hmm.
But I think at the time, the boss then, he didn't mix the known brands with like the known brands like Omega and all these like Raymond Wheel and Tissot. If you kind of mixed it in, it may have helped, but unfortunately that business closed down, and then I started Perpetual Time. It's working for yourself in this business it has a lot of challenges because of parts restrictions and getting on training programs. It's challenging. I will admit, but it's rewarding at the same time because you get to meet some amazing people. You see if when someone drops in the watch, you get to meet them. You see a face of the watch, so to speak. It's an interesting business. It's very, in my opinion, when I did the WAS step, there was 7 applicants that could do it in the UK every 2 years, and I think it was about 50 or 60 worldwide. So it was pretty difficult to get on. We got paid to do it. Now you have to pay to do it. So I was very, very fortunate. But I will say that I was very young when I did it. So now I've matured. I would say that it's something that if you're going to do, you have to have a pretty mature brain, should I say?
Wow. So do you service watches? Like, do you have a few people who work with you? And
no, I work on my own.
wow.
Which you see, that's the other thing. If you to have watchmakers that work with you, there has to be a lot of trust. Because if there was an issue, you can't say, "Oh, my other watchmaker did the watch, so that's why it stopped." You have to take the hit. So finding good watchmakers in the UK is difficult. You'll always see watchmakers go from Watches of Switzerland or Goldsmiths because they've been offered more money. And the money that they offer now is much better than it used to be. I mean, some validators can make 50,000 plus a year sterling, which isn't bad at all.
Hey, that's good chunk of change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
now you service all of your watches yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
And I can see here, like, you service quite a lot of. It says Rolex, Omega, Tudor, Cartier, Breitling, even Patek Philippe. So, like, what is the process? I mean, you mentioned that parts restrictions now it's more difficult than ever before. Now, what is like the most difficult watch to service? Like, which brand and it's like.
Someone asked me that question, and I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, but sometimes it can be the person that's more difficult than the watch. Do you understand? Because they have so much emotion and so much passion towards the watch because it's been given to them for a special occasion. So there has to be trust there. So it can be more of the fact that the person is more difficult than the watch. But I will say that I do not work on watches that I can't get access to parts or technical data. Reason being is because I don't think it's fair to use that person's watch as a almost like a guinea pig, really, isn't it? I mean, it's true though, isn't it? I wouldn't work on a Richard Mille
Yeah.
because and I actually do know the Richard Mille watchmaker from the UK, and he's an amazing watchmaker. He's highly talented. I met him before he joined Richard Mille, and I believe he was actually a locksmith, believe it or not. And then he went into the School of Watchmaking.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I only work on stuff that I can actually get parts for, because it's nothing worse than you strip down a watch, and then there's a part that's damaged, and you can't get it. Well, you're not really giving a full service, are you?
Oh yeah.
So I give 24 months warranty on tags. So I beat tags warranty terms because they give 12 months, I give 24. And also say if a Rolex that I service, the mainspring snaps within the 2-year warranty, I still honor that warranty. Rolex don't. They will expect you to reservice it. They won't give you a discount.
Yeah, I think like the most important reason to have an independent watchmaker is to make sure, because like you give your watch to Rolex, they might replace hands, they might replace loom. There's a lot of danger in that. But how old of a watch would you service? Would you be able to bring back?
That's a good question. With Rolex vintage, you have to be very careful.
Yeah.
So I sit down with the customer, and I'm on it. I'll say honestly, look, your dial is shot, so you're going to have to restore that or replace it. Or I say, let's leave the dial alone, because obviously there's massive value in the dial. But it's a bit like if you see a painting, an expensive painting that's been damaged, what do you do? Do you restore it or do you leave it? Now, if you restore it, you're going to have to give it to a person that is known in the business. So you're kind of stuck in a situation, really. You have to be really careful, because you can drastically reduce the price of the watch. So you have to really think. In watches, I always believe you should get more than one quote from somebody, 2 or 3 quotes, and it's not about the price, it's who you feel comfortable with. So when I service a vintage Rolex, I do not change the dial and hands unless it really is, unless it's going to damage the performance of the watch. So let's say if there's a vintage dial and the luminosity is starting to corrode, it's starting to go onto the dial, or the hands, the luminous on the hands is starting to kind of powderize. You can do the fantastic service on that watch, but there's going to be all stuff on the dial and hands. So with restorations, you have to be really careful, because if you do restorations, it can look terrible. So it's a difficult. Vintage is difficult. Do you know what I mean? It's a difficult.
Especially with the way what people demand, the demands of the current market, like people want everything to be original as much as possible when servicing the watch.
Yeah, and I think that's extremely challenging at times. I mean, if you change the crown on a vintage Submariner because it needs to be changed, then change it, but give the old one back.
Yes,
I do all that. I give everything back.
Sorry. Can I insert a question? I apologize for. So you don't have to send the parts back to Rolex when you're getting a new crown?
No, because I have access to Rolex parts through other means, all legitimately. I will say on video that it's nobody in the UK, so I don't want to get any of my fellow watchmakers in trouble, because I'm not that sort of person. But it's not. I don't get my parts through the UK. I believe in the UK, if certain parts you have to give back on an exchange basis, as the gentleman said, he's right. He's 100% accurate. You have to give certain parts back on exchange basis. But I've been fortunate, touch wood now, where I've not had to do that. So I'm fortunate in that respect. But I do know that accredited Rolex watchmakers have levels. So to give you an idea, I have access to sports parts, but an accredited Rolex watchmaker hasn't, which is extremely frustrating for that watchmaker because he spent all that money in training, he spent all that money in tooling, and Rolex is saying, no, I'm sorry, you can't work on that Daytona, but I can get parts. So I don't like tell all the watchmakers that because it obviously upsets them, but they know that. So I am fortunate at this moment in time to be in the position I'm in, but I'm looking in the future because I know it can just suddenly change.
Right.
And this is the problem in watchmaking. If you're not accredited with these brands, you're relying on other people. And that's not always a great position to be in. So I'm investing my money into the watch business through and wanting to do other things. So you should just try and always be a step ahead.
We have a question from a viewer. Mike says, any advice on where to take 1665? Would perpetual time be able to service it? I imagine testing to 610 meters is not something all watchmakers can do.
No, 607 meters is deep. It's very deep.
Sea Dweller.
Yeah, that's 610 meters. I think maximum I check is about 400 meters. I personally don't think there's any need to check the watch at that depth, because once you go past 400-500, I think it's acceptable. However, totally respect the fact that the watch goes to 610 meters if the person wants it to go to 610 meters, and then yeah, that's fine. But I would be able to service the watch. Obviously, I would need to see pictures to give an idea of pricing and give the old parts back. But if it's more of the fact that he wants it to go to 610 meters, he may have to send it back to Rolex.
I'm of an I don't think it would be even possible to service that of a vintage watch back to its original specs, but I'm pretty sure probably with all kinds of tools it would be possible. It'd probably be very expensive.
Rolex could do it; they've got the tooling to do it. But once a watch is so,
they can ruin the watch at that point.
No. I mean, they will test it to a degree where they're not testing it with the movement inside. And if there is an issue with the middle case, then they'll replace the middle case. But then you've got the situation where it will technically, or if not will, devalue the watch.
Right.
Because the middle case has the serial numbers on it and it'll be newer than it is. But I do a lot of work on middle cases where we laser fill in the steel back onto the case rather than polish out, because when you polish out, it's really obvious. So if you measure the shoulders, you can actually see where it's been polished, and a polish can reduce the value of a watch drastically. And the other thing is, I will say, is, you don't mind me talking because I'm going on a bit here. I hope you don't mind. But
no,
the other thing is that I find really frustrating, but obviously I have to come across as professional as possible, is that people will scour the internet to find the best watch for them at the best price and try and do their homework. And then they'll take it to somebody who only charges £60 to polish, that has no accreditation, that has no insurance, has no experience, and they basically have devalued their watch drastically just because it's shiny. Valeting is a true art. I've met some amazing valeters. I've been very fortunate to meet some amazing valeters, and I've learned some techniques, and I'm very lucky in that respect. But valeting is just as important as the servicing. You can do a great service and a bad valet. Don't forget the customer sees the valet. If you do a bad valet, it will reduce the value of the watch 110%.
Yeah.
And always don't use Cape Cod cloths on watches. This is a no. My opinion, I don't think you should use them. I think they're a no for me.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I'm a little bit into vintage Rolex watches, and the amount of over-polished watches that you see is just shocking.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem is, you could do the first value on a watch, and if you do it badly, okay. Second, okay. Third is very difficult to get it back to how it originally was. So you're chasing your tail. You don't want to be in that position. It doesn't make any sense. Pay the extra money. Ask the person for examples. I think there's 2,300 examples of work on my Instagram, and there's some videos on my YouTube account, which is Perpetual Time Ltd. It's very small. It's important that you do your homework. Really important.
Second here. Oh, and we also have the question about. Actually, well, let's do this. Let's go through a few more of these chats. First of all, welcome Stefano.
Hello,
To the
Stefano.
show.
Hello.
Good night.
Stefano, welcome.
Oh,
there we go. He's got a camera of his own. Very good. We're gonna do the setups. Oh, and now
Pride and
those are
Pinion.
Pride and Pinion polishing cloths. That
Are they? They're not, but they're not Cape Cod. They're microfiber.
No.
yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well, it's Nico, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. The guy is experienced. He's a nice guy. I like him. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Watches 24 has a question. Thoughts on Longines modified ETA calibers?
What do I think of them?
Well, I think the question would be like, what is because like there is this general feeling like everybody thinks that servicing ETA or Salita, it's much more simple than servicing like some kind of in-house movement like the Rolex movement. And can you talk a little bit on that, like what on the difficulty of servicing and what is some problems and some negatives or some positives of in-house versus these common.
So we're opening Pandora's box here.
Yeah,
Right?
just the crack.
So I think the 289, 282 that has the bolt-on du poids de près is a lot of brands, a lot of companies, third parties do not want to service them because they're challenging to service. So whenever an ETA is bolted on with another brand, like a piggyback, those calibers that Omega used to use or still use, I don't know if they still use them, but those are challenging. The thing is that ETA, if it wasn't for ETA, we wouldn't have the success in the watchmaking industry. So we owe a lot to ETA. Everyone downplays ETA, and it's frustrating because in all respects, when people buy watches, they say, oh, I want it to have an in-house movement. Okay, but is the research and development, has it been gone on long enough to know if that movement's any good? Because there is a lot of recalls as well. Don't forget, you're tied in to having to get your watch service most probably with that company. With ETAs, there's a majority of people that can service them and that can service them well. So ETA calibers on Longines, I respect the Longines brand, and I like that they use ETAs and they're reliable ETAs. The 7750 is fantastic. It's one of the best chronograph movements. The 2892, the 2824 is a tank. It's a great movements to work on. The reversal wheels do tend to wear. The Salita versions are not so good, so they've had to redo quite a lot of the auto work because they were becoming worn within 6 to 12 months. So on the Salita side, I would say the quality is less. I'm just being careful what I say here because I don't want to upset anyone with their brands.
Look, you can speak from personal experience. If you're having personally, if you're seeing issues or problems, and how comfortable you are at servicing each movement. That's I think that's kind of
Yeah, 7750 are fantastic.
mm,
2892s, 2824s. You know, it's the bolt-ons that become challenging.
mm,
That's not easy, and also I feel sorry for the customers because they sometimes get whacked a huge bill. They bought the watch cheap,
yes,
but they get whacked a huge bill. It's a bit like if you go and buy a Bentley W12 that's like 15, 20 years old and it's like 5 grand.
yes,
Once you pay that 5 grand and drive it for 5 days, you'll realize why it was 5 grand. Because everything you touch in that car is going to cost you £500.
yeah,
Certain brands of watches are like that. Um,
mm,
I mean, look at the situation with Frank Muller. Frank Muller watches. Um, what can I say? That he was the master of complications, but his
mm,
complications didn't really do anything, and
mm,
he got ridiculed in Switzerland for it. But um, the quality of his watches on the complications was
hmm.
disappointing in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was looking through some stuff, and now Frank Muller they got even worse. Yeah. No, his complication and probably very expensive to serve. Like I'm actually like I don't know how much you know, but I'm not a huge fan of massive complicated watches. I just like
Uh,
one simple complication, because I feel like the less parts the watch has, the easier it is to service, the less chance that something would fail.
so is that why you like less complication watches?
Yeah, yeah. I
So
think
you
like I don't want like one watch that has all complications. I'd rather have like five watches that have one complication each.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I mean, there's some watches that grab my heart, as in
Mm,
I fall in love with, and I'll tell
mm,
you, one of them was the Christopher Claret, which basically where the blackjack. When I actually viewed that watch, I think it was at Salon QP many years ago in London. I
mm.
couldn't believe what I was seeing. I mean, you play blackjack mechanically against a wristwatch. It is This man is a
Uh,
master. He is a true master of his craft, and I have so much respect for him. People don't realize how much effort goes into something like that. They really
mm,
don't. It's like when you watch these movies that they spend millions of pounds on. It's so easy to say that movie was rubbish, but you
yeah.
don't realize how much effort, stress goes into something like that somebody
Mm,
has done. I mean, but the Octo Finissimo
mm.
Bulgari
Yes.
is a beautiful watch. You have to try it on, and you have to. When I see that watch, it grabs me. And there's very few watches. I mean, I wear an IWC Pilot's watch, which I've only owned for 2 weeks, and it's a
Nice.
beautiful piece.
Oh, can
But
we see? Can we do a
yeah,
wristwatch
look,
check? Let's see.
yeah, I want to take it off actually. So
Let's
here, look.
see here.
So
Beautiful.
2013 box and papers.
Wow.
And it's the case refinish on it. I've not done, but it's done very well, I must say. But the
I,
strap is £350 for a leather strap. I'm like, what?
and you know, those are really quality straps, though. There's more expensive straps that are far worse than IWC.
But that's just for the leather. The point
Just
is extra.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you now. But when I bought the strap from DM Robinson's in
yeah.
Liverpool, the guy was actually called Alex as well. He then fitted it in front of me, and
Mm,
I know this sounds really bad, but I almost had a heart attack because I thought to myself, "Don't watch, don't think. Why are you acting like one of your customers? Just relax, relax,
mm,
relax." And I will be honest, I did check to see if you marked the case, but that's just me. I mean, but I ended up being one of my customers where I didn't have the trust. So I kind
wow.
of walked away from that and thought, no, you need to relax. Don't let things like that get to you. So
I have a quick joke question, and then we're gonna answer some more of what's it called? Viewer questions.
yeah.
Do you consider a small size of a watch to be a complication? Because when I got the 36 millimeter, the new 36 millimeter Explorer, I really thought that hey, the smaller case size, it is a kind of a functional. It makes it a lighter watch, more comfortable on the wrist. It's a form of complication. What do you think? Do you agree with that? Or
Do I agree with that?
Yeah, or do you think it's not? It's not, or am I mad, or am I crazy?
I think you
Well, we
made
all know you're a little crazy.
I would say that I don't agree with that. A complication to me is the date onwards.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you can also have a big date like the Cartier Pasha, the
Yes.
Cartier Pasha. And the problem with that, the problem with that one is that sometimes the double date doesn't switch
Ooh.
bang on. And it is quite challenging for people when that happens, when their date doesn't line up.
Ooh,
So
that's
it'll be
a problem.
it'll be saying like 32 because there's a problem with the mechanism.
Oh, that's bad. EPC acquisitions. It's Tim. Not sure if this was asked. Is it safe to say not to serve a watch until it is working erratically versus a certain time frame? If it's keeping good time, then no need to service. Yeah, what do you think about that? Some people say like just wear the watch until something goes wrong, until it just goes really inaccurately, or should you service like according to what the papers say, like every 5 years or every 6, 7 years?
That's a good question. It really depends on the caliber. So if I always go back to the 3135 Rolex. 100,000,000% your rotor axle is gonna wear. So when your rotor axle wears, then the power reserve reduces because when you're moving your wrist, rotor's not spinning, and then it's hitting the plates, it's scratching the plates.
Ooh.
So I've seen watches that have not been serviced for many years because the rotor axle has scratched all the plates, and when you open it up, you literally see all the metal on inside the balance, but that is because of how the watch is worn. So that person wore the watch when he was playing golf.
Yeah.
Playing hard impact sports. If you have a 3135 Rolex, which is yours is the 3130, I believe, inside that in that movement. If you start playing hard impact sports, you are going to wear the watch out a lot quicker, and also you're going to cause issues with the balance, because every time you whack, that balance is going to go out, and then it's almost like a heart racing, and then it has to go back.
It's like a mini stroke, a heart attack.
Yeah, you're constantly giving it mini strokes, the poor thing. So, you got to think logically, is this good for my mechanical wristwatch that has no battery, no capacitor, is all mechanical? The hard impacts is unnecessary. But you need to be careful, because I know people that stopped wearing their watches and put them in their gym locker, and then they were stolen.
Yeah.
So it's probably not best to wear your watch at the gym. You don't need to wear it at the gym. Just leave it at home. But hard impacts, it's no different when I believe Rubens Barrichello, when he crashed his car with a Reggio Emilia on. Yeah, it's still going, but it wasn't keeping time.
Right.
But they made out that it was still going. It was still going, but it wasn't keeping time. Same with Nadal, when he plays. It may still go, but it's not going to keep fantastic time, because how can it with all that huge impact?
But that's not something they advertise. They advertise that it still works.
Yeah.
That's the catchphrase.
Yeah. Right? It's a play on words, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
It's all marketing is a play on words. It's all a play on words. It's no different when they say this watch is 100% Swiss. It actually technically has to only be a percentage of made in Switzerland. So you have maybe the movement and then some of the seals, and it only has to be a 50 something percent. I don't know if it's any higher, but it's no different than pure orange juice. Pure orange juice is not actually pure. They actually add an extract of real orange, and then they contain it, and then they add an extract, and then they sell it as pure. So, because my dad used to say to me, it's not, that's not pure. I'm like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. But I looked into it, and he was right. So I had to go and tell him, and that wasn't good, but
Wow.
Yeah.
The only thing pure is if you squeeze the orange.
Exactly. And even if it's got pesticides on it, it's still not pure, is it?
It's still not pure, exactly. Well, Tim, you're safe because you don't play golf, you don't play tennis, racquetball.
I mean, I do other
you're
things
okay.
that I think
Your watches are safe.
the shock of the impact, but digress. But I think, look, so should people, like, Rolex says every 5 years, or is it now every 10 years?
So Rolex have the new movement now where the rotor where there's no rotor axle, it's on a rotor bearing. And I would love to go into detail about those movements or movement, but I don't have enough experience. But I do know that they've had to change the rotor system because of the ball bearings, I think, were either too small or too big, and it sounded awful. It sounded really bad. Yours doesn't have. How old is your watch? Sorry.
Well, this is new one, 2021. It is quite loud.
Wait a minute. That's the new. So that's not. Sorry, I just assumed it was like an Explorer from early 2000.
Yeah, no, this is the 2021.
Right. Sorry. No. Well, that's different. That's a different movement. That would be the newer style movement. It's a 10-year warranty, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So those movements are highly accurate because the chronometer rating is no more -4 + 6 seconds a day. It's a lot more accurate. A lot more accurate. What sort of accuracy are you getting? Go on.
I don't really test my watches. I barely bother to set the time most of the time. Actually, my Explorer 2, the time is not even set. I just like the watches for the stories. Now this one I haven't tested it, but I might. People tell me to do it.
I don't. Well, the problem is you can go down a rabbit hole where
Yeah.
some people will test it and they will start getting panic attacks because it's gaining more than maybe like +1 or +2 seconds a day, which is adequate. But you're a good customer because if you don't test your watches then and you're just happy wearing them,
It's a Rolex. How bad can it be?
Yeah, well, Rolex have had certain situations. I mean, they're more kind of Rolex. I will say this: Rolex movements are fabulous to work on because they make everything a lot easier. I mean, such as the Sky Dweller, and I don't know why I pointed like this, but I've got a picture in my reception of a Sky Dweller. If you see the Sky Dweller stripped down, it's the movement. It looks complex, but it actually is pretty basic for such a complicated movement.
It's very service friendly.
I would say I've never worked on one, but I've seen technical data and I've seen images, and it's for such a complex movement because it is the most complex movement they make. I would say it's a fabulous movement. It's
how would you compare like servicing a plain Datejust movement to an ETA equivalent? Which one is Which one is easier? Which one would be more difficult? If you can comment on that.
Well, that's a good question. What would I say? As in like a 2892 against a 3135. I prefer the Rolex movement, I must admit. But the 2892 is just as good.
But why? Like, is there something the way the placement of things? Like what?
I would say that a 3135 Rolex, you should always keep an eye on the. It's more. You should more keep an eye on the rate rather than the amplitude. So let's say if a watch comes in, what I do is I test the ceiling first, and then I'll open it up. And then I will test the watch at its full amplitude, and then I will test it at 12 hours in hanging positions. If the watch is doing 200 degrees and it's at a good rate, then the watch will go on for quite a few more years. 2892s, they're a lot more slimline in my opinion. Maybe the rotor will wear on it even though it's ball bearing. Center wheel, do you know what? I think they're very, very similar, but I prefer to work on the Rolex Caliber because everything just goes so nice and neat. I don't know. You don't really get that many issues unless rust is involved or a third party that may have stuck a non-original part, which I see quite a lot where the ratchet wheel's been put upside down for some crazy reason. I don't know, but I see some crazy stuff.
Interesting.
Actually, have a question for him. Actually,
Please.
Yeah.
it was a gift for my wedding. It was my father's Rolex Datejust 36. I don't know the reference number, but I know it's from 91. And
Okay.
I know for a fact that he did not. He for sure didn't ever get it serviced. Pretty sure he probably played tennis with it or high impact sports, but I don't know. Would you recommend that I would service it?
Okay. When was it last serviced? Never.
It was never serviced. I
Never.
can almost say like 100% that it was never.
And what year is the watch? Sorry.
91.
Get it serviced.
All right.
You saved all that money from 91. Get it serviced. And now what I'll do is, if you email me, I'll tell you somebody in America that I highly trust to service.
Okay, cool. I'm actually in Canada, but
okay. Sorry. I thought you. Okay,
no
yeah.
no worries.
I don't know anyone in Canada, but in America, I know a few people I highly trust.
There's only one guy I trust in Canada. That's in Vancouver.
Oh, okay. Who is
The
he?
only guy.
Is he
Prem Chinini. Yeah. They even send him watches from Europe to service, and he has a lot of parts.
Wow, that's good. It's nice to have lots of parts.
Oh yeah.
It's nice to have lots of parts.
Very cool. Let me just read some of these questions. Well, first of all, this. It looks like he changed his icon. Hello, Tim and the crew. Welcome to the show. Dr. Flickflack says, great guest.
Is that me or is that all of us?
That's
you.
That's you. You're the guest.
Thank
the
you.
star of the show.
I like his name, Dr. Flickflack.
Yeah.
I used to have a Flickflack. But now we're on the subject of Flickflacks. You know what kind of ruins it for me? The Rolex Pepsi always reminds me of a Flickflack.
Oh no.
But that's the best watch to teach a kid how to tell time.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna get my son one. That's for sure.
Mike the Snake says, I had a Submariner where the rotor came loose. I felt kind of a jingling feeling, so I took it in. Luckily, caught it before it scratched the case.
Scratch the movement. Yeah. Oh well, he's done well there. I mean, I must admit, I've never heard anyone open up a watch and say your plates are scratched, so I'm going to give you less money. You can re-rhodium plate the plates. I've seen, that's possible, but as long as the dial and hands are correct and the movement is obviously original and it's been well looked after to an extent, and the case and bracelet, everything has been checked out, then the watch should be okay. It shouldn't be a problem. But if there's rust involved or water ingress, then obviously that's going to cause your watch to be devalued if you try and sell it in that condition.
Cool. $5 super chat says, he's asking you whether you ever worked on a show part LUCs and how do you regard them? Interesting question.
Show part, the LUC is amazing. I have a lot of respect for show part. Yeah, they are in-house. Once again, restrictions of parts won't allow me to work on them, and I still have nightmares on the Happy Diamonds when changing the battery and working on those. But apart from that, Chopard are fantastic. Some of their designs, and even though they've used ETAs previously, which I don't know why I said that, because I have a lot of respect for ETA. The only respect I don't have is these companies that use ETAs and ask huge amounts of money and make out that it's not an ETA. And there's actually companies that copy ETA movements and change it to an extent and then make out it's in-house. That's, in my opinion, that's fraudulent. And I hope I don't get any legal action against what I'm saying, but I do believe that's fraudulent, because someone showed me a watch that had something to do with planes or something, and I'll find out for you. And I said that movement's a fake ETA, and he got really angry, and I proved it to him, only because he was showing me, saying that it was going to be worth, he thinks, money in in the future? And I said, no. I said, now you've asked me, I'm going to respectfully decline what you're saying, because that's a copy ETA.
Wow.
I mean, I think that's bad. I think that's bad.
Yeah, I
It's
think.
deceitful.
Yeah.
Very deceitful.
Highly deceitful, and this is the problem in the watch industry. You know, it's play on words, and I don't respect that at all. You know, especially when there's a lot of money involved. I mean, if the watch was like what, a couple of £100,
Yeah.
Okay, or a Kickstarter, but even then, no. I mean, it's heartbreaking when you have to tell somebody your opinion when they ask you, and you basically say the watch is worth nothing, especially with fakes that come into my workshop.
There's a lot of money in this in-house hype. Everybody thinks that having an in-house movement now, it just a watch brand will not be respected or looked at the same way if they don't have an in-house. So there's a lot of brands looking for shortcuts. They want to say that they have an in-house movement without spending the money to make one.
Tim, you're missing out 2 earlier super chats.
Oh, I'm missing super chats. Okay,
JB, €9.99.
Okay, Tim Remington, thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate it. Oh yes, JB said another month of no plastic. What do you, Alex? What do you think about the plastic inserts in watches?
When you say plastic inserts, in what respect?
You know
I think he's talking about the cradles.
Yes. You know, in the movement, like Tag Heuer's and other brands.
As soon as he heard Tag Heuer, he started laughing. He knows.
As in, like the plastic movement holders.
Yes.
Hold up. I don't understand why. You know, Tag Heuer have really pushed up their game. They've had to because of the competition from the other certain brands on that level.
Yes.
But plastic movement holders are quite frustrating because they never stay to their trueness. They always break and they get brittle. And I don't see why you'd use plastic in the movement. But obviously, it's because of mass production. You know, I mean, these watches are all mass produced. Rolexes are mass produced, highly.
Oh yeah, we watched the video from 2021, I think, yesterday, where Rolex had an ad where they showed how their bracelet is made by like a computer, like a machine.
Robotics.
Yeah, the robotics. It was really advanced robotics, so let's just give them a little bit credit of that. It looked but they kind of scrapped that probably they don't want that thing to come out anymore.
I don't, you know, it's quite interesting because I looked at Rolex and how much money they give to organizations.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing what these organizations do off the back of Rolex. It's fantastic because Rolex really encourage technology and everything. If you look into it, it's amazing. You know, I understand. I don't know if they're still a charity now. Someone told me they're not. Because they're still a charity.
Yeah, Wilsdorf Foundation.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they're a charity. Some people say, well, obviously it's because of tax avoidance, and I'm not going to start getting involved in that. But listen, if they're giving all that money away to causes and setups, I think it's fantastic. I mean, they could be like other companies that just take all the money.
Yeah,
and just sit on it. You know?
It's better than me. I'm trying to turn this this podcast into a religion because it would be tax deductible. It's just.
Look, we're all here because of time. You know, time's brought us all together. Time is the most important thing in life. Material things don't matter. Time is something you can never buy back. Every second that goes, we can't buy back. So we're all here because of time and the passion for watches, which obviously tells us the time.
I've heard so many people in the past 10 months tell me I would give up my whole collection to get the 20 years back.
Exactly. There you go. I mean, look, we can only listen to past, you know, like people that always say, you know, spend as much time with your family as possible. When someone told me when I was 21, Alex, you know, you need to concentrate and do what you're passionate about, I said, well, I don't, because I'm only 21. And then before I knew it, I was 31. And I wouldn't say I have regrets, but one of the things is that I wish that I did more when I was younger. But now I'm doing what I feel as though is right. But looking back, there's certain things, you know, in my business I wish that I implemented.
Hindsight.
Yeah, hindsight's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Ronald, $20 super chat. I'm riding these city bikes while wearing my Rolex. By the way, congratulations to Ronald on picking up a Batgirl. I hope he gets his next piece soon. Sometimes the road feels like paint shaker because the roads are bad in Montreal. The calibers are 3131 and 3285. What are your thoughts on wear and tear?
I feel the exact same thing. It's funny. I'm from Montreal, so it's a very, it's a funny.
Montreal's like driving through a minefield, man.
I always take my hand off the handlebar so I can reduce the shaking, but like I don't really think it does anything.
I think that's a little extreme. I don't know. Let's see what Alex says.
What do I think? Look, these watches are highly tested through various means, and I understand, appreciate that the 3285 is a movement that is, if I'm not mistaken, is the more modern movement that Rolex use now.
Yes.
So
the latest caliber.
The R&D that they do is phenomenal. But I will say that, you know, there has been issues with the auto work, but I would not worry about something like that. As long as he's not playing golf or
tennis or racquetball
or hitting people with it, you know, I think we're pretty safe.
No extreme centrifugal force, right, Alex?
100%. And I will 100. I will 100% say that. But you see, I always say to people, you know, you should treat your watches with respect and passion, but don't cuddle them and like
don't baby them.
Don't baby them. Don't give them milk at night. It's really important that you have a separation and don't let these things bother you, because there's some people that almost look for problems. And I will say also, when people buy a watch without checking it prior and do their due diligence, mentally they don't enjoy that purchase. And while they're owning the watch, they tend to either sell it cheap or throw it in the drawer. When you buy a watch, you should always make sure that it's correct from the beginning. Any questions you have, answer them prior to buy-in. Check how much it is to service. Check how easy it is if you want to take it to a third party. I know this sounds crazy, but just sit down somewhere, have a coffee, and just think, can I afford this watch? If so, can I afford to get it serviced? If so, how much is that? You just gotta relax, because if you start panic buying, it's gonna bite you, because you're gonna end up putting that watch somewhere or just selling it cheap. And also, if you're buying a watch on your birth date, so let's say you're born in the 1960s, don't do it. And that's just an opinion. Don't romance. Don't romance over a birth date. If you're born in 1980 plus, then maybe so, but don't buy a quartz then. If buy a Rolex, buy certain Omegas, but do not buy a watch on your birth date, because I guarantee it's gonna bite you on your ass, and you're gonna be paying out your nose for that watch.
And you'll regret the day you were born.
You regret the day you were born. You don't want to remember it anymore.
See, Alex is very eloquent. He's a polite way of saying, don't be highly anal retentive with your watch. Buy it, enjoy it. You know, like a car. You don't drive a car 5 years without an oil change, plugs, filters. So if you schedule a maintenance, and like you said, write it down. You didn't just spend 10 grand. The service will cost 1,500, 2,000. Do you take it to the actual manufacturer? Do you give it to a third guy like Alex? All those factors play in the cost, the final cost factors.
Totally agree with you. You're 100% right. Totally agree. And also, if you send it to the manufacturer, you can't be ringing them up asking for before pictures. And, I mean, I had one gentleman, I actually still know his name from over 10 years. He sent me a graph of his root beer Rolex of 3 months, a graph, and the watch was so accurate. It was within its chronometer rating. And I just said to him, what are you expecting? This watch is, because Rolex do not chronometer rate a watch after X amount of years. They won't, even if they can get it chronometer rated, they will not guarantee it after so many years. Also, even if they can seal it, they will not warranty it because it's an old watch. It's no different than buying I'll go back to the Bentley, buying the Bentley, expecting to do 190 miles an hour on a quarter mile. It's not going to happen. You can't. You have to appreciate things get old. You don't want to expect 100% accuracy from a watch that was made before you were even born, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have a few more. There's few more questions piling up. David D just says, "This is a good guest of mine. I was going to hop on and skip the gym, but your special guest has motivated me to just listen."
That's nice, David. Thank you. So I have not been to the gym for 2 weeks.
There is an earlier super chat from this.
Yeah, you missed one.
I got it. I got that one. That was.
I think there was one before that.
Yeah.
Even before that.
Yeah, we got that. Go next. Go next.
Yep. Oh, that's it. That's as far as I can go.
Yeah.
Everything else got deleted. Okay, it's okay. One more time. Thank you, Tim Remington, for becoming a member. Actually, I was gonna pick this one up anyways, but I see his super chat and now it says Tim starts his Daytona by shaking it. Thoughts?
Oh, so when your watch, you got a Daytona.
So I have a Daytona. I never set the time on it because I can't read the bloody thing anyway. So I just pick it up, I just shake it a little bit, and then I put it on, and I wear it for a day like that.
Okay, and what year is it?
Oh, it's 2020, maybe 2019.
2019. Okay.
Yes.
Now, when you don't wear a watch, obviously the power reserve depletes.
Yes.
Okay, so the best thing to do when you are going to wear the watch is unscrew the crown.
Okay.
Wind it 15, 20 winds.
Ooh.
You cannot overwind the watch. You can sit there for an hour and you can wind it. The only thing that you may cause is that at the end of the mainspring, which is a very long spring, it's circular in the barrel. When you take it out, it's very long. It has a slipping bridle on the end, and it goes into the notches of the barrel. You may wear the notches, but don't forget this is constantly slipping to give high amplitude, etc. That's the thing you should do. You should never shake it and then just wear it, because what happens is you've not put enough, say, fuel in the car. So it's like putting 5 pounds of fuel into your car and expecting to go from Liverpool to London, which is hundreds of miles. You are not going to get the true accuracy of the watch. So it's always best to unscrew the crown.
But that's to get the accuracy. But is it going to?
No, it's to get. It's to get. Sorry to interrupt. It's to get the watch time. It doesn't. Even when you get your watch serviced by Rolex, they actually send you They actually give you a slip that says, "Please wind your watch when it's not worn. You have to wind it from the crown and then screw it in," because you can imagine how many people ring up and say, "Oh, you serviced my watch is not working." No. You need. Especially more for the elders, no disrespect, but they don't move around as much. Right. So you need, it's all about how you're moving around. You need to move.
Oh, but I do move quite a lot. So when I whack, so I would shake it a little bit, whack it on, and then I would go for like a really long, an hour, 2 hour walk.
No, you need to wind it, Tim. Don't.
You need more activity, so you have to basically prime it first.
Yeah.
Then put it on.
Exactly.
Fourth Luxury says, Jonathan, we should please talk about the Fabergé eggs from the Octopussy. Actually, we're gonna. I wonder how if you're able to. Now, Alex, do you service by any chance Fabergé eggs?
No.
Okay.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe. Not yet. Let's just say that. Watch World says curious on his thoughts about getting my 1962 Breitling Navitimer reference 806 Venus movement
It's a
service.
Venus movement.
Yeah. Cost, complexity, service parts, FOI, it's still running fine. Now what I have here is now this is your Instagram, Alex. Perpetual Time Ltd, correct?
That's me. Yeah, that's me.
Very cool. Guys, I'm going to drop the link to the Instagram. Actually, what you can see, you can go through now these are all the different watches that you have serviced, right?
Yes, yeah. So these are basically what happened was I started my Instagram, but I wanted it to be as professional as possible. So what I do, not all my work, but I do before and after for the customer, and then send them the link, and they can actually see what's been done. And also they can use it as a reference if they ever want to sell the watch, or if they ever want to show somebody. So it's a great way of advertising. It's fun. It's a fantastic way of advertising. I will also say though, my when I do the work, I do speak about the watch, and my invoices are. I do think they're highly detailed, but it can also bite me at the same time, because then the customer starts wondering, well, why have you changed that, or why? So sometimes it can, but I rather be like that and have the evidence to show what's been done, because also it looks good. I think if I got that sort of service, I think I would be extremely happy with that. I think it's something that there's not many people that do it. It's time consuming. I will admit it, but everything in life, you got to put hours in to get something back. So that's what I use my Instagram for. I try and keep it only for business.
It's very cool. It's very cool. And probably people can go through the catalog and see if you have serviced a watch that they kind of have, and they can see it like, oh, then you're probably able to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they can reference it, and I mean,
very cool.
They'll know that I actually work on the watches and give warranties, etc., using original parts.
And if they want to ask you a question, whether you're able to service the watch, do they go to the perpetualtime.com, or can they just ask you here on the Instagram, send you a couple of pictures?
I prefer if they email me, to be honest. Yeah, but they can send me a message on Instagram, but I'm probably not as quick to reply. But it's best to email me. But the Instagram, I've used it, and it has made a positive difference to my business, I would say.
Cool. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Perth Luxury says, "Boo, Haps, Bruins, forever #1 for Mr. Orr."
We didn't actually reply to that gentleman's Breitling question, did we?
No. I mean, let me just read this one, and then we'll answer. Oh, okay. Actually, yeah. Oh, no, this is just an announcement. Paying an advertising fee from Perth Luxury. He's doing an unboxing of a new Rolex GMT Master 2 in steel. That's the Batman. Today on his channel. Please, guys, go subscribe to Perth Luxury on YouTube. I'm just trying to drop the link. Yes, and let me bring the other one while I prepared the link for Perth. Here we go. This was it.
So, Brian, okay. So my minimum charge on something like that is £1,200, and at 15 to 20 weeks because of the restoration and because of parts. They're not cheap to service. I will say that. But yeah, I can do those. That's. I mean, he says it's still running fine, but I would like to know what is fine. Do you know what I mean? I'm just curious what the timekeeping's like, and when it was last serviced, and if so, who by. And the reason why I asked if so, who by, is because I know quite a few watchmakers, and I always just like to know who previously did it, so I can get a feel for it. So I can, the more questions, the better, really. But it all depends on what is. When he says fine, what's that? Is that 20 seconds a day? Is that 10 seconds a?
How does he define the word fine? Right?
Exactly.
Alex,
yeah.
Alex, are you also able to recreate pivots and gears? Is that included in this kind of fee, or?
Well, that is just basically a strip down and rebuild and changing of parts. But if it's stuff that needs to be repivoted, etc., made, then it's going to be more.
Okay.
It's vintage can be expensive to be done. You know, like I say, it can be a minefield. So certain parts, if they're being made, then I would have to re-estimate.
Yeah. It's hard work.
If that's sentimental, then obviously it's worth doing. If it's not, if it's not, and then I don't know. It's a sit down and think: is this watch for me, or do I want to pour money into this piece? Because you have to think like that as well.
So you give a consultation, in your opinion, professional opinion. If you say it's going to cost this much, in my opinion, it's not worth it. I don't think you just go to get the money to get the repair, right?
No, if they come into me and they want to sit with me and talk, then happy to give if they ask for my opinion, I would say, look, this is going to cost you X amount. Is it sentimental? And if they say, no, it's not sentimental, then I'll say, well, maybe it's worth selling the watch as is, or I can take it in for a part exchange and give you
credit, X amount of credit towards a purchase.
Towards an Omega or Cartier, or something along those lines that you are actually going to be happy with, that comes with its official warranty if it's brand new, and the money that you've saved you can implement on the watch. So
true.
But if it's something that but then again, if it's sentimental and he wants to pay that, then
sure,
I'll be happy to do the watch for him.
If it was a gift from his past uncle or grandfather or dad or brother or whatever sentiment is attached to it, then it might be worth it for that person to spend that amount.
Exactly, yeah. And I've had a lot of people that have come in with very, very rare pieces, and they've been offered like £500, by some, I'm not going to say who, but the watch is worth like 30, 40 grand. And I've managed to get that money for them. And then if they want to pay me something out of it, that's fine. And sometimes I bought watches off people, and I'm always honest to say, well, your watch is actually worth more, because there's other companies that will just offer you peanuts,
Right.
I'm not saying all of them,
but there's enough.
Yeah, of course, because it's stealing, but there is dealers out there.
It's unethical. Basically, and immoral in a way when they do it, but you get the good with the bad, right?
You get the good with the bad, like any business, any business. That's why I say never go with the one person. Go with 2 or 3 people that actually are out, in different parts. I mean, I've known of certain dealers, I'm talking about years ago, where if a vintage watch Rolex comes in, they will assess it, they will note down the serial number and model number, and then they'll offer a price. If they don't happen to sell the watch, buy the watch from the customer, then they will tell all the other dealers, this is the price I offered. So he'll try and push the price down.
Right.
I'm talking about years ago here. I'm not talking about any particular, because I don't want to get. And then what happens is the customer feels as though that's the price, and then if it goes into auction, the dealers will then put on forums that the watch isn't original, and then they'll buy the watch.
Yeah. Wow.
This is done in a lot of industries.
Yes.
I'm just telling you the dark side. There's a lot of positives in business. I just thought I'd mention that.
Dark side to everything, Alex.
Exactly.
In the old days, in the 80s, I remember when I first started in the industry, watchmakers used to scribe inside the case. So when they used to get it back, they knew if they opened it or if they worked on it or not. Do you guys still do that or no? You don't? Yeah, you do, right? Okay.
Yeah. You have to make it really neat. I like to either use my Carl Zeiss microscope or use a high quality lens and do it really neat. Because I've seen ones where it's like
where they
or like an autobiography or something, it's crazy. But I've seen all sorts of things. I've seen a Rolex day where the movement is original, but the case and bracelet is Italian. So what they used to do was they'll buy an original day. They'll get the original movement, stick it in a fake Italian case and bracelet, and with the original movement, they'll then so they'll put the fake movement with the original case and bracelet, and do the same with the other watch, and make two watches out of one.
Wow.
Oh, there's people that sell watches on forums, and they will super glue the case back because it's a clone watch, and they will make you feel as though, look, you're going to buy this watch or not? You're going to buy this watch or not? To sell the watch to you, and it's a fake. I've seen so many scams.
Super clones are getting better and better though every day. Don't you agree, Alex?
100%. You cannot tell from a picture that you can't. It depends on the angle of the picture. But years ago, I used to be able to tell. Now, every 6 to 12 months, it's getting more and more difficult because of the investments. The whole etching on the crown, that's all changed, because I had one customer, I offered him a price for a Rolex, and he rang me up late at night saying, "Oh, Alex, I found the watch cheaper because I can see the etching at 6." So I said, "Well, do you walk around with an eyeglass?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" He came to my house that night and the watch was fake because I told him it was fake. And he said, "Oh, I got my money back." He didn't. I knew from somebody else he never got his money back.
Wow.
He was just too proud to tell you that.
He was too proud to tell me. Then I had somebody else who asked me for a price some years ago on another Rolex Datejust. He didn't like my price, and then he bought a watch off eBay, and he brought it to me for a service, even though the watch I offered him would have been serviced with papers. So it looked beautiful. It was the same model. I think it was a smooth bezel Rolex on an Oyster. Opened it up and it was full of rust. He never got his money back. He never got his money back. This is what I mean. Some people are like, it's almost like they want to take risks in life. It's almost like they want to go into a casino and put everything on black and then worry about it afterwards. I just think there's some people that just like it, because the amount of times I've said to people, I can sell you this, or I know a dealer that has this and he's legitimate, and they don't want to pay that extra 200, 300, 500 pounds from a legitimate dealer, and they'll go and buy it from their mate down the road who has a big house, and then they'll find out that house is not even his and he's disappeared. It happens.
Oh yeah.
Alex, if you don't mind, I would like to give you an example of the contrary that you're doing. So the contrary of a servicing. I'm owning a vintage Rolex, and I've been discussing with another collector the problem of fogging oils on the dial. He told me many vintage Rolex dials are stained at a certain point because the oils from the mainspring are fogging out and damage the valuable dial. So I recently took a 45-year-old Submariner to my watchmaker and asked him to de-oil the watch because it rests in the bank safe. So this is just an advice for the vintage guys. This is also an aspect that shouldn't be overlooked. Of course, when I'm using the watch, it has to be disassembled and oiled again.
So the oil from the mainspring has managed to get on the dial. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's vaporizing over the years.
It really depends on what oil, because you're supposed to use well, actually, that's a bit of a rabbit hole, because the oil, because the barrel is obviously in the movement, then you have the dial and hands. So that means that watch hasn't been serviced for many, many years, because if it was serviced by somebody that was experienced and had some idea what they were doing, that they would use a certain grease for the barrel, which wouldn't cause that. So I must admit, I have seen some watches where I strip down and it's just, there's so much oil, you could make an English breakfast out of it. It's just, and it manages to seep up. But it's interesting what you told me. I would love to see pictures on email if possible. I mean, I'm fascinated by that. But I think that's more of the age and the greases.
Yeah, and so you know, if you have a watch that you know will rest for 10 years in a bank safe, you're not regularly servicing it. You're just letting it lay loose like it is, and that is the danger then of high valuable watches, that the dial gets damaged even when the watch is not used because of that fogging.
So have you seen that in other watches as well?
Yes. Basically, this guy bought a watch from me, and he pointed out the dial damage caused by that fogging oil. And I was devastated because I was pretty sure the watch was good. So I tried to avoid that mistake on other watches.
Was that an antique watch there, Jonathan?
No, it was a GMT 1675, where this fogging appeared between 4 and 5 o'clock.
How old was the watch, if I may ask?
Pardon?
How old was the watch? What year was it?
It was
1675.
1675 must be like 70s or something. Yeah,
but again, technology has advanced the lubricants and solvents used today, right? So I think Alex is saying the more modern, more higher synthetic they become, the less chance of that to happen.
Yeah, that wouldn't have happened if the watch was serviced regularly. I mean, Mobius oils are fantastic oils, and that wouldn't happen with the correct oils. And if the watch was cleaned, it sounds like it's either never been serviced or it's had a bad services, and they've over greased or over oiled the barrel. I've heard of stuff like that before, but it's very rare to see it, in my opinion.
Do we know when like watchmakers changed to the new type of oil that this problem wouldn't occur on?
Well, you can usually you can usually tell when you ask the customer when they last serviced it, and it's been I've serviced it like 20, 30 years ago. As soon as, like you say, you open up like a vintage Omega Constellation, either a steel or gold case, the back seal liquidates. It has like a liquid, and then as soon as you see that, you know that there may be problems. However, I've seen it, and the movement has never been touched. The screws are nice and neat. There's no marks. You know, it's so it goes again. Do you service it or you don't service it? It's all about how you store the watch, how you look after it. But there's certain seals that congeal, because it's either the age of the seals, or sometimes watchmakers use certain silicon methods to re-grease them, and that can damage the seals as well.
Yeah.
Just a quick
reminder,
right,
Mobius is known as the best, Tim.
Yes,
Mobius is known as the best, especially their microgliss, I think they call it, the D5.
Yeah, that's what Rolex used to use.
Yeah. But he's right. In the 80s, I remember we used to go to certain watchmen when we didn't find a good watchman. Yeah. They never even opened the watch, but they'd charge you $100 that we serviced the Rolex. And then we find out from the good guy who set up shop a year later, oh, nobody's ever serviced this watch. Look, you know.
Never been open.
Never been open.
In the 1990s, Cartier used to service mechanical watches by not disassembling them. So they just put it in a cleaning solvent, which contained oil. So it was a one-step process.
Yeah. They used to use something I think called duo lube. So they would take the dial and hands off and the calendar wheel off.
Yeah, and just put the movement like it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do with Rolexes. So when you get a Rolex in, you take the dial and hands off and the calendar wheel off, and you put it. You look at the movement, and then you put it in its first clean. And then you check the movement, check what needs changing, strip it down, then you put it in again. So Rolex have a system of basically stripping down the movement twice, so to speak. Cartier, I don't know if you know the certain Cartier Santos ladies that has an ETA 2000 movement in it, which ETA 2000 movement is a very small, tiny ladies movement. It's the worst ETA movement ever made, because everything is built on top to make it the size. It's so bad that Cartier will not service the original movement that's in the watch. They'll get two, and whichever one is best out of the two, they'll stick in the watch.
Wow.
So Cartier now, they don't majority of their movements they don't service. They actually do a carousel. I think it's carousel service. So they will take that movement out, I think send it to Switzerland or somewhere. Then it gets serviced, and then that movement goes in someone else's watch.
Wow.
But don't let that put you off Cartier watches. I like Cartier watches. I don't like their mechanical in-house movements because the quality is not good in my opinion. And I can my opinion. This is my opinion. I don't want. I can't speak for everybody else, but my opinion is I was really disappointed to the point where I'd rather have the 2892 Cartier Santos. But then you have the problem of, is it real? Because a large influx of Cartier Santoses hit the market some years ago in Hatton Garden in London, and they were fake with stamped box and papers. And then what they would do is they would diamond encrust them, knowing that if the watch ever went to Cartier, Cartier would say, we can't even work on this watch because it's diamond encrusted. Because so they would cover on purpose. So you have to be very careful with Cartier Santoses, because I had a gentleman that bought one. It came to me and I said it was fake. He said no, because I bought it from a luxury auction house. They said Alexandros Foti at Perpetual Time doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not experienced. And then I said, we'll tell them to send it to Cartier. 4 months later, it came back fake. Now that's not me being arrogant to say I knew more than them, but with auction houses, not all of them. They just look at the commission, and then if you have 20 years of your life to read the terms and conditions, you'll realize that you are really not covered for anything. Luckily, he got his money back.
Wings and Watches, thank you so much for your super chat. Awesome stream, guys. And Jimmy's reminding everybody to please hit the like button. Let's get to 100 upvotes. It's really important for the show. Raj G, 9 pounds. Great stream, guys. It has been very insightful having Alex on tonight. How often should you manually wind watches to keep parts, lubricants moving if they're sitting unworn? Actually, I had that same question about the Daytona. Do we need to run the chronograph? Oh, it's just chronographs. Do we need to run the chronographs? How often?
Well, chronograph, if you translate chronographo in Greek, is measuring time. So it's a stopwatch.
Chronographo, that's right.
Yeah, it's a stopwatch facility. Stefano knows these. You're Russian, aren't you, Stefan?
I'm half Greek, half Italian.
You're half Greek. Μιλάς ελληνικά?
Βέβαια. Απτέστος, διαβάζω και διδάσκω.
Πολύ καλά, ναι.
Ευχαριστώ.
I'm the Russian one.
Oh, you're the Russian one.
He's the comunista, this one.
So you're Russian and half Greek and half Russian?
Is he half Greek? I don't know. You have Greek, Tim?
No, Stefano.
Me,
you're half Greek.
Italian and Greek.
Italian Greek. So you're
the two crazy combinations.
So you're Catholic Orthodox.
I'm an Orthodox. The only time my father ever went to church is when he was baptized and when he was buried.
He's on the good side. He's on the Orthodox side. Okay.
Yeah. My mother was Greek, so we were raised by my mom.
You had a Greek mother.
Great great mom. God rest her soul.
You seem more Greek, Stefano, than Italian. I don't know, just the way you talk.
Oh, I can be both. It depends who I'm with, I guess. I guess is Alex. Είσαι Έλληνας.
Κυπρέος.
Εμπογίθε και δαμέ, κουμπάρε. Mr. GMT is from Cyprus that was on before.
Oh, was he?
Yes, he's from Cyprus. He's a Greek Cypriot.
No, both my parents are Greek Cypriot. So my mum came. My mum actually went through in '74. So she witnessed. She was a young lady.
Yeah,
very young, and
during the Macarius years.
Yeah, it's emotional to hear what she says because you can just see in her eyes, the pain and the suffering. And my uncles fought in the war, and they never sat me down and told me. They won't.
They won't.
What they
don't want to reminisce on those times.
No, and it's sad. It's sometimes I've got a glimpse. They've told me, certain things, but it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
It is because the most beautiful part of Cyprus is taken over by the Turks. Northern Cyprus is gorgeous.
The rape of Aphrodite, they call it, don't they?
That's right.
Yeah. So
where you from? Lemeso, Bafo?
No, my mum was from Yanagra, which is Negrizli in Turkish. And my dad was a Biodis, which is Biodis is they've got a bit of a reputation, so
Yeah, it's okay.
Great stream.
Oh, we have a Drew. Drew, hello.
Hey,
Oh.
what's going on, fellas? I just want to let you know, great stream, everybody.
Hey,
Great
thank you
stream.
so much.
I just got off work. You guys can see the trucks there. I just want to say, every single person on here, great stream. I want to emphasize the point with the Cartier tanks. I was actually going to purchase one, and then I had some second thoughts because you know it really is a fashion watch, you know. And
Well, you're a
it looks
fashionable
great.
guy.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I know, but I want to solidify my collection a bit. But
Okay.
Go with the Santos.
yeah, no, you guys had some great points. Don't let me distract you guys. I'm just having my beer.
Yeah,
But,
man.
what's up,
Cheers.
fellas?
Enjoy, Drew.
How we
Enjoy.
doing? How we
Cheers.
doing, fellas?
We're doing great. Hey, you know, we're on episode. I don't even know. We're episode 171. Drew was here on like the episode 3. Helped us get off the ground. He's a cool guy.
I love you guys. I'm only here to support every single one of you guys. So
Hey man, we really
Thank you, Drew.
appreciate it.
lots of love over from here. You know, you guys keep up the great content, the great informative content. It's really appreciated, and trust me, it goes a long way. It really does.
Well, the great content is because of guys and people like Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alex-
Drew is really
Oh,
good because
yeah.
he brings in the super chats usually. He
Alex,
pays
you
for the
haven't,
show.
you haven't really replied to the question about
sorry.
winding to
Sorry.
keep the lubricants moving.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so
I'm
I would-
sorry. I was gonna say that there's a guy who doesn't need any lubricants, the Drew. But let's just keep going. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So when Stefanos was saying
Mhm.
about Mobius, the synthetic oils technology used now, how often should you manually wind watches to keep? I only would wind the watch if you're using it, personally, because you're kind of in a catch-22. Because if you're keeping it running for no reason, then technically you are wearing the watch out. So the chronograph, if it's a chronograph function as well, I would never use a chronograph unless you are literally measuring time. And this is where people make the mistake, because when they buy a watch, a mechanical or automatic chronograph watch, they assume that the chronograph seconds is the seconds to read the watch off. So like, let's say on your Daytona, Tim, the seconds, the subsidiary seconds is at 6 o'clock, isn't it?
Yes.
So that is the seconds you should use if you ever need it for the seconds. If you have literally put the seconds on www.timeanddate.com, so you've whacked it on the exact seconds of your, of your time. But the chronograph is like, to give you an analogy, is like driving your four-wheel drive car on a motorway. In four-wheel drive, you are literally wearing the movement down, and it's unnecessary. So don't assume that if the chronograph isn't working, it's off, there's something wrong. However, if you were to run the chronograph and put it on a time machine, you'll see the amplitude will drop because there's more friction, there's more wheels involved. So don't use your chronograph unless you're measuring time, and make sure that the screw down pushes are screwed in, and don't push them underwater, whatever you do.
Okay.
I know people that have done it, and they've got big bills from Breitling. And
Actually,
Rolex.
I think that's why Rolex puts the screws on the pusher. It's not so much that they make the pusher waterproof. It's the fact that you're not able to activate the chronograph while underwater.
Yeah, that's 100% right. I mean, it because it's easily to knock. You can easily knock a watch underwater. I mean, Frank Muller was notorious for stuff like that.
Hello, Alex.
Hello.
Good evening. Or good
Good
morning.
evening. Good evening. Let me just read a few more super chats and we'll continue, because I want to get back to this question from Watches24 about watch winders. Are they good or are they bad? But before we go there, Sir Drew Peacock says, guys, Don't make me show you show you my scuff. And reminds people to check timwrite.com. 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 Check out my reflection.
Thank you very much, Drew.
He's a freaking legend. You didn't have to do this. This is just insanity, man. Dude, you're working hard. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Drew helping us out, getting us through the rough days, just having fun.
Watchwinders.
Watchwinders.
I'm glad Jonathan's keeping you on point today, Tim.
Thank you so much, because I'm a little...
Jonathan, make sure he gives you a commission.
Yes.
The check is on the way.
That's what they said. The check is in the mail.
Stefanos, this is a German talent. No?
So, Alex.
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for watchwinders. Okay, so watchwinders for me are bad. The reason why is because unless you have a collection of Rolex like Floyd Mayweather, where you need them on time because you have such a huge collection and you are literally wearing each watch every other day, then that's fine. But watchwinders can actually cause damage, because if it's on the wrong setting, they will constantly wind the watch, and it puts unnecessary pressure on the barrel walls. Also, I understand and appreciate people say, well, you don't have to take the crown out and screw it in and all that. Well, right. I mean, how many watches do you have where you have to adjust all the time? I don't agree with watchwinders, and I used to sell them, but I tend to stay away from them now. Even the good quality ones, okay, you can set them to a certain time frame so the watch is on its time when you go to pick it up. But how many watches do you have where you need them all on time? I just think it's best to put them in the safe, dry, no moisture, and just wear them when you wear them. I don't really have an interest in watchwinders. My views could change, but that's just from experience from people having watchwinders and what issues they can cause.
Not even on perpetual pieces that
would have been my question.
Thousands to reset.
Well, then yes, I would use it, because it makes sense, because you don't want to be sat there with an issue on complication pieces. But on less, I won't say valuable, but less desirable, should I say?
Or less complicated.
Less complicated.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not really. I don't know. I just don't see the point.
Right.
I don't really see the point. I think they can cause more issues than good. I mean, you can't. I mean, as long as you're not one of these people that fiddles with your crown constantly and wears because sometimes I do it.
Yeah.
Then you're not going to wear down that crown and tube. I will say that Audemars Piguet crown and tubes are terrible.
Oh.
They're bad quality.
Yeah.
They're also the worst to gouge you for a service charge.
Yeah, and the fact when you pull out that, like on a Royal Oak offshore, you pull out that little crown and it wobbles, and it's a little tube, and I'm like, this actually is really bad.
And if you push the crown back, the minute hand jumps for 3 or 5 minutes.
There you go.
The stem is made so cheap and so flimsy. That's the issue there. But then again, you have a $20,000 watch that goes for 70 grand. So
yeah, I love my Royal Oak. No problem.
Of course you do. I love my Royal Oak offshore, but
I do like the stainless steel Royal Oak. The way the light, on the bracelet, the way the light it just glitters. And to refinish that, is an art. You have to really get it right. I mean, I've seen certain people that stick it on a machine that just cuts the steel thousands of a millimeter. Look, yeah, I've seen it, and it comes out beautiful. But there's other techniques. And the other thing we mentioned about polishing, once again, it's really important to make sure that whoever polishes your watch that you're comfortable with and that you see examples of their work.
I find that a polisher should be as good, if not better, than the watchmaster who fixed the movement.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's I mean, you could be experienced in polishing, but you don't necessarily need a lapping machine.
Exactly.
Everyone goes crazy about these lapping machines, but you have to be very careful because you can overlap, and you can put the edge on a case. You can make it huge. You just got to work with the watch. You've got to appreciate of its age, and any dents laser fill in rather than polish out. This is really, really important.
Alex, are you also laser welding?
Yes, we do laser. We do laser filling. Yeah.
Yeah. How? What is your opinion about that?
Well, as far as I know, Rolex don't do it. They replace. They will not laser fill anything.
I know Rolex Germany does.
Oh, so Rolex in Germany, they actually laser fill cases?
Yes, as far as I know, yes. So I know a guy from Netherlands. They certainly do. I'm pretty sure Rolex Germany does it as well.
As in the official Rolex Germany Rolex Service Center?
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, I think, I don't, as far as I know in the UK, I think they will replace they would rather replace. I mean, they're known for always wanting to replace day-date bracelets, complete bracelets,
yeah.
which can be restored, but restorations, people need to appreciate, is a restoration. If you're expecting perfection from a restoration, then it's probably best that you replace it and pay the humongous price that Rolex expect. As far as I know, the exchange basis on bracelets, they don't give them back to you. On the gold, they tend to give you a certain value. But laser filling is good in my opinion. If it's done correctly, it's a good option to have. Not many people know about it. People assume that once you dent a watch, you can't, that's it. You have to polish it out. No, you can laser fill it in. You'll be amazed.
That is pretty incredible. I don't even want to know how that works. Do you guys fill in? Do you overfill and then you have to polish it off carefully?
Yeah,
and yeah,
exactly. So there's a laser that taps in, and you just hold it, and then you refinish. So you can well, when I say mimic, you can add platinum, white gold. Don't forget, Rolex white gold is not like Cartier white gold, where you have to plate it. I actually knew somebody, he's actually my business partner now, Christopher James, where he took his watch to another company and they wanted to rhodium plate his platinum day-date.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God he didn't do that.
No.
And because you don't rhodium plate either Rolex white gold or obviously not platinum, that would cause big problems.
Oh, yeah.
But Rolex white gold is amazing. I don't know how they do it. I'll be honest with you. I've never really looked into it, but you can polish it and it doesn't go yellow. I do have a gentleman that's gave me his Rolex Day-Date 2 where the whole Rolex it's a white gold Day-Date 2 and it's gone yellow. And I said to him, what does this guy do? He said he's a glass blower.
Huh.
So I believe from him glass blowing,
the heat.
It has gone like a yellow. And I've been to see, well, I lived on the island of Malta for a couple of years when I worked for Cartier and Tag Heuer. And I went to see glass blowing, and it's amazing what these people do with glass. And the heat you can see them sweating. It's like a smell. There's like a certain smell as well. It's just weird.
This is a really good question from J-Ray. How do you get the same type of metal? Because my worry would be, okay, so you fill, let's say it's just some standard Rolex Submariner. Do you use some salvaged Submariners to get that same kind of steel?
No, you can get 904 steel on little I don't know, on little
findings
pieces
of it, sheets, shot, casting. Yeah. That's
wires.
How you buy it from assayers.
It's a little wire, actually.
Yeah, they have everything.
Yeah, it's you can match it, no problem.
Yeah,
you can match it. It can be done. This is the thing, because Rolex, everyone assumes that by taking your watch to Rolex, you're doing the best thing.
No.
Well, and when you tell that to a customer, they think, well, you would would say that about Rolex because you want to take the money. I said, no, I don't.
Right.
I'm just being honest to say that if you take your watch to Rolex, there is a high possibility, depending on the steel sports model, that you will drop the value.
Yeah.
But trying to tell that to them is challenging.
Yeah, because Rolex, they're not really concerned about the resale value. In fact, I think they have their own standard. They just want the watch to work to their specs, and they
give
don't care
warranty.
if it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it means diminishing the value, taking off the old bracelet, replacing it with the new one, they'll
service dials,
service
dials,
crowns,
service bezels,
all new.
Because that idea that the watch has to look the way it was original, that's such a enthusiast thing to do. Normal people are not concerned.
It's also for purists, but
Yeah.
with Rolex, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Let me just get through the super chats, guys. And Alex, please prepare the question. Prepare the question. Mike, £1.79, reminding us perpetual
minus
time
underscore time.
Underscore. No, is that underscore?
Not underscore, it's dash.
It's a dash. Yes, and I did drop the link. That's the Alex's website. If you are, if you want to talk to him about servicing your vintage watch, also check out his Instagram. It's the same, Perpetual Time Ltd. To see what kind of work he does. Watch Wizard, Stefano, you didn't, dude. $20 Canadian for such a great guest. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience, as well as educating us in the right and the wrongs of the ways to treat our timepieces. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So, Stefano, very, very generous supporter. Perth Luxury, $2. Jonathan, the Royal Oak has no crown guards.
My offshore has. My offshore has.
It needs to have crown guards.
Royal, yeah, Royal Oak Offshore. Tea and Tickers, £5. Why do hand-wound only mechanical watches cost so much more than their automatic equivalents? Do they cost more to make, or is it just desirability?
Do they cost more?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
Unless special independence. I mean, regular, no. They don't cost more.
No, I mean, okay, you got like Lang & Son, they make quite manuals, but then they've got the micro rotor, haven't they?
Yeah.
But it depends a little bit. A Philippe Dufour is manual only, and it's bloody expensive, for example.
Yeah.
So there are exceptions, but a manual Patek usually is cheaper than the automatic equivalent, for example.
That's true.
Can I ask? Sorry, go on. Sorry.
It depends on the complication. How many complications?
That's true too.
If you have an automatic or a hand wound.
Well, like Jonathan, if it's a Philippe Dufour, or if it's I don't know, Richards, they're going to be sky high. But Patek is cheaper.
Can I ask what everyone thinks of Patek Philippe watches as in quality?
Rabbit hole.
I don't think they're phenomenal as they claim to be, but I think they're pretty good for. They're a nice piece, right? It's not my preferred watch. They're too small. He has a beautiful Nautilus. I mean, Aquanaut.
May I ask how much? Sorry, may I ask how much that is?
How much?
How much?
What's today's market value?
I paid the retail.
Okay, so it's 3 times the retail.
So at retail, that's 40,000.
2 times. I believe now it's like 74,000 euros.
Today there was one. Is that rose gold?
That's the rose gold.
So today there was one in the dealer's chat for 82,000 euros, brand new 2021, full set with 1 seal. Not double. If it was double seal, it'd be another 5,000-6,000 euros.
Okay.
So to reply to your question, I'm a big Lange fan. In my opinion, in the below 50,000 euro range, Lange beats Patek
every day, all day.
With any movement they make. Patek is still magnificent in the over 100,000 euros league. They make the super complicated watches really nicely. Yes. But Lange can beat them even in that field. That is my opinion, and I'm getting a lot of flack from for it.
Gonna get a lot of flack.
Right. I will say that Lange & Son is a bit bittersweet, because when I first saw my Lange & Son, when I went to Salon QP some years ago and I saw Lange & Son, it was emotionally there for me. It's a watch. I wouldn't say it killed my passion for other watches, but everything now that I look at, I say, is that as good as a Lange & Son? Because the blued screws, the hand engraving, you cannot. It's very, very difficult to beat that quality, even the way it sits on your wrist and the feel of it, and then you get, I mean, obviously Rolexes are beautiful, but then you get a Rolex and you're like, there's no comparison. And it's bittersweet, because it's kind of made me want a Lange & Son when I can afford one, but then I'm looking at other watches and always comparing. So beautiful brand, amazing brand.
My grail watch is a Datograph Lumen.
Oh, beautiful!
Gorgeous. The Lumen. It's so crazy. I would sell all my watches, all my collection for this watch.
Wow! Yeah. You got
not only, Stefano, you can correct me. On Chrono 24, you don't find one watch from the Lumen.
No. But again, see, Chrono 24 and look, I'm a sideline dealer. I started in the industry in the 80s. It put me through university. I was blessed and honored and fortunate to make enough money to become an architect. But it's always been my hobby, my passion, my love. So Chrono 24, between all dealers like Roman, like Eric, like Nico, it's full of shit. You know why? Because you see 30 watches and maybe 2 exist. The rest are just photos, and they try to track it down if you want to order it.
I know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's hyped. It's a hyped website. That's what I would say.
What is your opinion of
look at that? Watch? Look how beautiful that is.
Look at that.
Absolutely amazing.
That's art on a wrist. That's like seeing a beautiful woman in a cafe.
I would buy 2 if I can afford them, and put one like that and one with the back.
100%.
Come on, Stefano, leave one for me.
Of course, I would buy you one too, Jonathan, if I win the lotto. Don't worry.
Absolutely amazing. This
is art. This is art. This is like looking at an expensive painting.
Yes, this is looking like a Picasso, a Van Gogh, a Monet.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, Monet, definitely.
And 10 years ago, I could buy a watch, a Datograph, a normal, it's the first generation, for 30,000 euros in Hamburg, with a new service, brand new service, full service on Lange. And the watch was too expensive for me. I was so stupid. No? I would like to buy this watch with 28,000 euros. Only because of 2,000 euros, I didn't buy this watch.
And what's it worth today?
I can bite my ass.
More than double.
More than double. So you see, hindsight. But who can tell? No crystal balls.
You did the right thing at the right time. You always have to think on the positive side.
Exactly.
It happened for a reason, Yeah.
Lange back in the late 90s in the US, 18, 20, some guys desperate, 23% off. Who would have thought? Invest that instead of, it's like a Bitcoin today, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's the best. I know there's these independents that Marco and even Todd went crazy on, but to me, Lange. You want the top, you want the Bentley, you go Lange. You want Mercedes, you go Patek or Vacheron.
But I will say that if you did own that watch, what happens then? Sometimes when you get what you want, I mean, what do you then get? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes,
Alex, you're going into dark territory. Be careful what you wish for it may come true.
Well, it's true, isn't it? Sometimes you go, sometimes
you're right.
You strive and strive, and then when you get it, you're like, oh, what?
You go rogue. You're like, now what?
Does like the watch god come down and grant you 10 wishes? It's what happens.
I think it's more self-gratification.
No, it is.
No, I have a professional question to ask you. Langa or FP Journe?
Lange.
I've never actually held an FP Journe, but no, never.
Or better yet, what do you think of FP Journe? What do you think of the brand?
Oh,
Absolutely amazing.
The man's a master watchmaker. I only know 5% of what he's forgot. You know, it's true though. You know, you have to look up to these people and respect them because they've gone through a lot. They've you know, even though they may have had huge investments, they've still stuck to their passion. They could have easily dropped out and gone and worked for somebody else, or they've gone and done something they didn't want to do, but they've stuck in there like Frank Muller did. You know, I have respect for him. Obviously, his market collapsed, you know, and then it was bought out by some rather interesting person. I don't know what happened there, but I have a lot of respect for FP Journe. I probably would have both.
Okay. I hear you.
Flip Great, $5 super chat. Great show. Thank you for the super chat. And SBSB $5. Check him out on Apollo Moonshine on Instagram. I love Alange & Zahn. I recently obtained a Speedy. I'm impressed by the whole IG Speedy community. Oh, Instagram. Yeah, the Instagram Speedy community. Very different from Rolex community.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Speedy.
It's Snoopy.
The new one.
Look at this.
He put on a bracelet. Where'd you get the bracelet?
That's the Zin bracelet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Stefano, did you forget it? No, I told about.
I forgot the Zin bracelet because everybody swears to keep them on their nice blue bands. That's why.
Yes.
But
it wears out. The blue band will wear out after a couple of wears, right?
That's why when you buy it, you better order 2 bands to have.
I really like it, and
I haven't heard anybody who bought it or who got it, because not too many have received it yet, that love it. I mean, I prepaid the damn thing $13,500 Canadian a year ago. I'm still waiting for it.
I think that's kind of what the Speedy community is all about, customizing their Speedies, whereas the Rolex community is all about keeping it original and minty as possible.
Well, those are those pure enthusiasts, right?
Yeah.
Alex, I'm sorry. I came in late, and I'm leaving in a few minutes. Where did you go to school? You went to Switzerland to become a watchmaster?
No, I went to WASTEP in the UK, Watches Switzerland Training Education Program. And I've also my BHI, British Horological Institute. I'm also a fellow of the BHI, and hopefully soon I'll be sat on their board. I sit on the board of the British Watch and Clockmakers Guild as well. And I've also been featured in the Guild of Master Crafts magazine as well.
Actually, I think I have that article, but I wasn't able. I think the article you sent me.
Yeah, so I basically obtained a damaged, rather interesting vintage chronograph movement, and I restored it, and then had a sapphire disc for the date that floats above, and then a very large domed sapphire glass, and then a Stingray strap and a steel case.
Bring it up here.
I've actually, and what I did was, the Guild of Master Crafts magazine did an article for me, and I think the British Watch and Clockmakers Guild seen it, or they knew about it, and then they asked me to meet them, and then it moved on there.
Okay, I have it here. So this is the restoration work that you've done.
Yeah, and then I cased up, and then the dial. So the numerals are actually flat. It's not on the actual dome glass. There's a very thin sapphire disc that has the numerals on. So this was basically originally made by a student of Horlogerie de Paris. So it was a student in Paris that originally built the movement. I don't know what happened with it. So I restored it, blew the screws, and then basically used it as a wristwatch. I've left it rough on purpose in certain areas too, because I didn't want to refinish it totally, because then it'll modernize it. But it is different. It's very different. I just need to work on the movement, because I need to service it, because I've had it for over 3-4 years. Accuracy isn't fantastic. I'll be honest. It's got a heat compensating balance as well, but there's a few things that I'll be changing on it. It's not cheap to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, with the amount of hours you put in as well, you know. So, but it's something different.
This is your watch and your movement, or?
No, I didn't build the movement. The movement was built.
No, but you bought the movement.
Yeah.
Yes, I bought the movement damaged.
Okay.
Yeah, and refinished it. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't really wear the watch, I must admit.
Wow. No, this probably have been a lot of work, and
yeah,
I've seen some stuff. Definitely a very impressive. Now, where did this movement come from?
So I bought that movement from an auction house, and there was quite a few issues with it. And also, if you look, the push is at 12 o'clock, but it's actually like a 1-minute chronograph. So the actual chronograph is, I wouldn't say it's pointless, but it's a bit odd. That it's like a 1-minute chrono. So what I did was I wanted to open up the front so you could see most of the workings. But what was the worst thing is that when I had the dial made, there was a recess for the subsidiary seconds. I didn't make the dial on my own. I don't know how they would. I won't be able to make the dials. It's clear sapphire. So there was a recess at 6. So they took 5-6 months, probably slightly less, to make it. And then when they went to send me a video to show me, they cracked it.
Oh.
So then they rushed to do me a complete flat dial, which is nothing as what I wanted, but it is what it is, as they say. So I've done that. There's something else I'm working on, but it's going to take me like 5-6 years. But I'm still working on that at the moment. I don't really want to show anything just yet, because, but this is something that is very, very important to me.
Yeah. Well, this is quite impressive stuff. Definitely nothing to sneeze at.
So much work.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's incredible. Wow.
Super chat.
Wings and watches. It's incredible to get a watchmaker's perspective. I have had so many questions answered while simply listening. Incredible. God tier. It's a God tier made stream, Tim, and the panel. Thank you so much, Wings and Watches. And please, guys, subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's going to be coming out with some interesting videos very soon. Maybe even today or tomorrow. So please check it out. Make sure you subscribe. And Saad Grandport, also thank you for the great show. Learned a lot. Oh yeah, I think Alex, you'll be back for more streams, right?
Yeah, of course. No, I really thank you very much for having me on. You know, I really appreciate it. You know, it's great to be asked these questions, and obviously I don't know what I'm going to be asked, so I will answer as best as possible, you know, and as most accurate in my opinion.
Yeah, this was very rushed stream that I put together. I told you I'm not prepared to, you know, I didn't have any questions or anything, but I'm going to actually for our next, actually if people have questions for you, they can email me, and we'll do a whole. Oh, look at this. Stefano has a really animated conversation with someone. But yeah, I'm gonna prepare something a little bit more elaborate, and I hope you enjoyed your time.
Yeah, no, I have.
On the live stream, it was a little bit there's like inside jokes, but I do have to wrap it up because me and Stefano are going to do something, and yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Alex, do you have any final thoughts, questions, opinions?
I would just like to know everyone that's also here as well, because I've introduced myself, but it'll be great, to know everyone that's here and know their background and why watches. I always enjoy meeting people in this industry and see what makes them click about watches. So I'd love to get to know people more.
Oh yeah, actually, you're gonna get to know that we have a lot of different characters. Today you met Sir Drew Peacock.
Oh.
But I think you know me a little bit.
Yeah, Drew the stripper.
Drew the stripper.
That's what Kelly says. He always comes on without a shirt, and he just proved it today.
He brings in the big bucks. The big bucks.
The big bucks.
Yeah, that's
it's
how.
The ladies. It's the ladies. You got to bring up your what do they call it? The analytics for women, right?
Analytics.
That's right. It. Anyway, I have to go, guys. Alex, it was a pleasure. Thank you for your knowledge, your experience, and you're in London, right?
I'm in Liverpool.
In Liverpool. Oh, okay. When you're there, man, take the boys and go visit Alex. Go do a video with him.
Is anyone going to the London Watch Show? Or
I'll be.
Tim is going. JJ's going.
Marco is going.
Well, Marco and I, we don't know because the Canadian thing with the yellow and the COVID,
right,
is very strict.
Yes.
Right. Wow, you're coming to the UK for the show?
Yes. Actually, yeah.
Where are you staying?
At the hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Grosvenor.
Grosvenor.
So you bought the flight
already, everything.
Wow.
The viewers paid for it. They send in the super chat, so I'm flying in for basically free. And Nico is going to, well, he promised to give me the tickets, the VIP passes.
Yeah.
Oh, Nico's a Levendi. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
Legend.
Yeah, he's a good
guy. I like Carlos. Have a good evening, guys.
Right, Stefan, I'll catch up with you in a couple.
Yeah, and we'll do this tonight.
Yes. J Wright has a £2 super chat. Metallurgy used for match metals. Huh. Metallurgy. And Humble Pie, $10 just because I just logged in. Best of luck. Hey, Humble Pie, thank you so much. We're going to talk about his collection in very soon in the upcoming episodes. I just had to. I had a special situation today, so that's what happened. But Alex, different Alex below me here, is a collector from Germany. Actually, both of these, Jonathan is from Germany and Alex is from Germany.
And Alex, we have the same name.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, Alexandros.
Yes, I have Greek roots too.
So the reason why I call Alexandros is because I was named after Megas Alexandros, as in Alexander the Great as well. Yeah.
My first name is Alexis.
Yeah.
And my second first name is Alexandros.
So are you into Greek history?
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Very.
Greek mythology and history is amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know there's a small village Vergina with the towns?
No, I don't know.
The Philip II, the father of Alexander the Great, is the Thames. No?
That's where he was born.
I know. I believe he was born in Pella, but it's other kind of story. Sorry. If you like, I would love if you could stay in contact. Write me a message on Instagram. My Instagram name is No Endless Time.
Excellent. No, I appreciate that. That'd be fantastic. Yeah. And can I just ask Tassos, where's your name from?
Well, I'm Greek, fully Greek, both parents.
There's all Greeks here, isn't there?
Full disclosure, I'm not Greek.
Right?
Wow.
Well, yeah, no, my real name is Anastasios.
Anastasios, beautiful name, Anastasios. Beautiful.
From my father's side, we come from Macedonia, and from my mother's side, it's kind of a little hard to pinpoint because they're both Greek, but they actually grew up in Turkey. So
Turkey. Okay, but
they're during
on the region of Pontus.
I don't know exactly, but
I know this topic by grandmother. No, is grandmother. I believe it sounds was born in the Turkish area too. Yeah, but
So
she was Greek. Yeah, it's crazy history. Yeah.
Yeah, Macedonia. Did you say?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's where Alexander. Yeah, he was Macedonian Greek. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, my grandparents came here during that time. They became furriers. The business doesn't exist anymore, but like my father is retired at this point. But yeah, we came from the northern part of Greece, and yeah, I mean, I was born in Canada. My parents were born in Canada, but yeah.
Wow. There's a lot of history here, isn't there? It's crazy.
And he's a graphic designer, so
Oh wow.
yes.
Okay. You've been doing that long?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a little while. I mean, my main job is I'm a tattoo artist, so I'm an artist all around. But yeah, I mean, I dabble in other mediums as well. I love doing logos. I'm a painter as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, just love to create things.
So you do what you're passionate about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You guys were talking about find something that you're passionate about. I mean, I'm very lucky to fall into that and to realize that young enough. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, we're very lucky. I mean, considering apparently it's 4 trillion to 1 to even be born, and then you have to be born in a country that is good, and then you have to have good parents, and then you have to. So you know, if you think like that, all of us are extremely lucky compared to other unfortunate people.
100%.
Oh yeah. And Jonathan, a little bit about yourself.
Well, I couldn't be any more German than I am. I used to work in watches retail many years ago. Since 20 years, I'm not in the watch business anymore. I'm just a passionate collector of all kind of things, particularly Lange and Grand Seikos.
Oh, we're gonna talk about servicing Grand Seikos on the next episode. That's
gonna be tough.
Ooh, yeah.
I must admit, I've never serviced one.
You're gonna have fun with the spring drive. We'll see how that goes.
Movement. Amazing movement. Amazing.
Oh yeah, beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just I like talking to people, and I wanted to do live streams, and it just so happened that I kind of blended the two together, starting on the Archie show, the Archie Luxury.
Oh, so you know Archie well?
Yes, I know him very well, a little bit too well. Yeah, and what about you? You know, you watched his content a little bit.
So it's funny because I had somebody at least 4 or 5 years ago and said, have you ever seen that Aussie guy talk about watches? And I said, no. And then I started watching him, and I was just fixated. I was addicted to listening to him while I was stripping down watches. And
You're not alone.
And I just loved his personality, his
quite
passion
a character.
for watch. Oh yeah, he's definitely a character.
He fired me. He fired me from a job
but you don't get
about
paid.
5 days ago, and now I'm banned from coming onto his streams for 2 days. So that's cool.
I must admit, I did see that.
You saw that?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen it. He got quite upset, didn't he?
So it was quite it was quite a show.
It's quite. I have a lot of respect for him because he's one of the first that was on YouTube, I think, from what I know. And you know, there has been people that have learned from him. He is quite sort of, you know, he does say what he thinks and he does say what he means, which I appreciate as well.
Yes.
You know, I have respect for Archie. You know, I like him. He's a nice guy. But I know that
he has passion.
His passion.
Oh yeah, he has a lot of passion. You know, I mean, you can't get any more passion than Archie, can you? Really?
No. Yes.
And some people might find that odd, you know. So, but he's an extremely passionate person, and his fridge, you know, he's got a lot of habits on his.
And Tim, it's an honor. It's a real honor to be banned from Archie.
Alex, have you seen Tim's fridge?
Yeah, I'm going to get on it. Hopefully.
The space is running out. I gotta tell you, I don't know how much space available I have. Let me just check here real quick. 1 second. By the way, I'm working on massive improvement. Now, it was a whole big deal because now David SW actually, I contacted him and he was very keen on getting a spot. As you can see, there's very little space, but
is
yes.
David SW with Archie and with yourself?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good.
David SW, very generous guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves what I do. He loves what Archie does, and yeah, I threw in a bone to Pride and Pinion. They didn't pay for the ad, but yeah, they give me a lot of views. You know.
Yeah, Nico. He's highly knowledgeable, isn't he?
Yes.
And his accent is he Dutch and where's he from?
Yes, I think so. I think that's right. I think he went from
Nico
Dutch and
is
moved to Northern
Dutch,
Ireland.
from Amsterdam.
Yes.
Dutch, isn't he?
Yeah.
You can tell from his accent, can't you? He's got the Dutch accent.
He's got that god tier accent.
Who's the guy that's crossed out?
It's Archie.
Oh, right. Oh, of course, right. Right.
And people are asking in the stream to make the fridge longer.
Actually, no, I can't make it longer right now. It's restricted by my website. I can't actually. Oh my god, the things I had to do to put this together, it was a mess. But it's just made in a really scrappy way. I'm working from back to front. You know, I see what I can do and then I just modify it. That's why the first fridge was long and thin, and then I had to modify it, make it short and fat because it wouldn't fit on the phone. That's why there's all this gap in between here, because when you open the fridge on the phone, this part cuts off. You see it? But yeah,
Sorry.
but
Just get a double fridge.
Double fridge. Just have a second tab. But no, I did create a partners page. I'm gonna be adding these panels here for all the partners, and there's gonna be a button, and you can just click the button and go to my affiliate page. And anyways, this is just background information that you guys will see soon. You'll see soon. There's massive upgrades coming. Massive upgrades.
Can I also ask about what I know it's been spoken about hundreds and millions of times, but the whole timepiece gentleman situation. Can I ask what people thought about that?
Sure. I was pretty upfront about it. I knew it was going to be a ratings boost. I knew people were going to be searching for it, so I was like, I don't like talking about that because I thought I analyzed a lot of the things that Anthony said, and I thought that, from my analysis, I thought he wasn't apologizing for the right things. I think he didn't think of what, sometimes you could think that this is what people think that you did wrong, but in fact, people are upset at him for totally different reasons. And I thought there was a disconnect, and I was honest about what I thought, and I had long conversations about it with Nico, and we came to a lot of understanding. So I think he gets a lot of hate for the things that he didn't do wrong. And the things that he did wrong, people say, well, he didn't hurt anyone, but he did hurt a lot of the resellers, the gray market, people that contacting. I think Roman was upset, and a lot of people said hey, we don't want to give watches on consignment. So I don't think he's too bad of a guy. I wanna actually have him on the show. Come talk to me, Anthony. Let's talk some watches. Let's see what happens. That's just how
I have a little bit more pointed point of view about timepiece gentlemen.
Oh,
please
cool,
talk some sense into me, John.
No, I'm not that forgiving like you are.
Yes.
In my opinion, this guy doesn't love watches. It's all about showing off. This is all about this is all about flexing and his Instagram and YouTube presentation, and it's, to me, it's disgusting, and I feel sad that a guy like timwrite has how many subscribers do you have? 3,500 now, and Time and Peace Gentleman has how many? And that just shows how crazy the internet is.
Oh yeah, that's the. But
On
then,
point,
Life in general.
but guys, but then the question becomes, is he doing it because that's what the algorithm requires? Because like if you didn't know Nico, right, and you just watch him, watch his YouTube, you would come to understand like, oh, he just cares about the rappers. But then you talk to him, and he's like a knowledgeable guy, and he's just like, oh yeah, like these videos, I don't even come up with these ideas. I have a crew. They check the algorithm. They check what people are searching for, where the views are at. They prepare everything for me. I just talk watch. Like I don't even. He said like he admitted like, oh, this rapper, I didn't even know who that was until halfway into the video. So
Yeah, but
it's a big difference
Okay.
between Anthony and Nico. Nico is really, if you see this guy, it's smart and clever in the first second. No?
Yeah.
And on the other side, you have Anthony. Watch the video on the time the bank account was frozen. And
Yes.
he told the woman, ask Roman, what the fuck, what is this answer on the bank? No?
Yes.
It's complete crazy. I can't, I don't like Anthony anymore. I watched it at the beginning. Yes, it was interesting, but it changed so hard, and I don't want to invest any second anymore with them. Really.
And Tessa?
I mean, yeah, in my opinion, both of them, I share both their sentiments. I mean, I don't like his general aura, but like, even that aside, which I don't really watch him, I think the testing of loyalty was like kind of a little weird. And then also just the poor decision on the timing of using what you call it, helping out the community or charitable thing.
Yeah.
The tie of the charitable of the timing and the testing of his friends or certain people, like I don't know, it just came off very arrogant, you know. And what else the gentleman said, you know, like I agree with all that. I mean, I don't really watch them. It's very hype oriented. It's not really about the watches very much. So, I mean, that's basically my opinion.
Yeah. Watch Maven, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. And Eddie's watch is $5. How much to ban Archie from the stream? Ooh, spicy. But I think we went through a lot. It's been on for 3 hours. I do need to wrap up. I want to thank my special guest, Alexandros.
Yeah,
man, I hope to have you
Thank
on
you.
like all the time as a regular guest.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It would be really nice to just like hear like your thoughts on people's like, because people often ask us like which watch we would recommend, and just a lot of just general questions, and just have you on the live stream, just talking about giving advice and seeing the advice from someone who services these watches. I think that would be very informative.
Yeah, no, I'd love to do that, because I could just go back to the sort of issues that the watchers have had when they've come into my workshop, if they have. And then I can just compare each watch or watches and give my opinion. Yeah.
It's very cool. Tim S., final super chat of the day. Love this stream, but I'm heading off for the toilet break. Guys, Archie Luxury is live, so if you want to go watch that show, it's live now. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you,
everybody.
See you later.